I have this moment where I'm examining my life and I'm realizing like I am a professional criminal and I am really good at it. And if I go to prison, I'm going to come out like a lot more, a lot worse. Yes. And so that reality sinks in, and I just said one prayer, and I just said, God, I'm going to prison and I need you to go with me, because I do not want to come out worse than the way I came in.
There's something about Good People, my local coffee shop, that's always pulled me in. Not just the coffee, but the sense of intention. It feels like a place built around community, around real connection. That intention comes from Chuck Herrera. I got to know Chuck over a series of early morning conversations, and what started as small talk became a friendship, one rooted in curiosity, respect, and eventually trust. This episode isn't just about coffee or small business. It's about identity, transformation, and the kind of faith you find when the world falls apart. Chuck shares his story with vulnerability and clarity, from growing up between cultures, to wrestling with who he was becoming, to finding purpose in presence and in service. It's a reminder that we are all more complicated than we appear, and that sometimes the most extraordinary stories live just around the corner. My name is JT Erickson, and this is No More Strangers. I hope so, because we're live.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's funny you said it's all about me, because it's like, that's very opposite of my ethos.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
I don't like being like front and center. I always say my ideal position would be the sound guy.
Yeah.
Making sure everyone's taken care of, everyone sounds good, everyone looks good. And I think because it's just, when you make it about you, you're going to set yourself up for failure. Like, you're not thinking about longevity.
Yeah.
And when people think about longevity, it's always like, well, like, they think about their legacy or their name. It's like, no one's going to give a shit about a name 100 years later.
No.
Like,
dude, why do you think I'm on this side of the podcast? like I don't have to make this about me. I get to do that. The fun thing, like asking people questions about who they are, why they are. Because if I'm talking to you right here, right now, like I am, it's because I felt like there was something worth talking about. And like, I want to dig in a little more.
And I appreciate the opportunities for that, because it allows me to kind of give people kind of a behind the scene perspective of what makes good people work, what's good people about, because it means a lot of things to a lot of different people.
Well, let's start there. Like, I mean, we've done zero intro and I don't plan on it, but what is Good People?
It's you.
Oh, shit.
It's our coffee farms that we purchase from. It's our matcha purveyors. It's the people, it's John, our meat guy, that sources all the farms throughout California. It's the network, literally, of people that we rely on to keep our business functional. One of the biggest things that people can overlook in starting any business really is the lack of understanding and relationships within the industry that they're being a part of.
Yeah.
A lot of times people think like, I'm starting a business, but you don't realize that you're also taking part of an industry. And if you don't have a healthy regard for that industry and spend some time working in that industry before you become an owner within that industry, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's like signing up to fight like Logan Paul and not training. It's like,
going to be a hard time.
Yeah, it's just like, you're just going to get your ass kicked a lot. And you still are. I mean, it's going to be a fight in doing your business, but in spending a solid 6-7 years working in the industry, from leaving my full-time job to being a full-time barista and working at different places, gave me an opportunity to develop relationships, to understand, being able to manage at different places and understanding where things ran well, where the issues were, how to circumvent those issues. And thankfully that I came into this industry already with a healthy understanding of managing people, running my own businesses in the past, and working with creatives, working in production and all this stuff. It was really easy to translate a lot of my previous work history into the running a coffee shop, running like the operations of it. And then the relational part of the people that you work with, in the industry, we would say your vendors. They're really your friends. You rely on them so much that those become like, they're your good friends. They're good people. And so you know, the name of the shop, as we were talking about who we were going to work with for this and this, every person that I was bringing to the table, hey, we're going to work with this person, I would end up saying, oh, they're good people. And so
Guilty of saying that kind of thing. I
Yeah.
get you. Yeah.
yeah. And so that's when it's like, let's just call the shop Good People. And it's like, do you think people would like that? And it's like, turns out they did. And as a designer, it's a fun brand to play with. It's a fun one because the phrase, it's kind of ambiguous. And it's like, a lot of people think we're talking about ourselves. And that's why we're the joke of the Instagram handle, Good People, Bad Habits. And it's really, and that comes more from a statement of accepting everybody, and that, hey, whatever you do on your off time, I don't care. As long as you're not interfering or hurting anybody. It's like, we all have our habits, whether it's an extra slice of pizza, whether it's a joint, whether it's that extra beer, whatever it is.
Yeah, we're all good people.
We're human. We're all susceptible to these things.
I was trying to sort out what it meant the first time I showed up. Like, oh, is this, or are we like, is this a virtue signal deal? Am I like trying to show everybody that I'm a good person? Or like you walk in and you're like, oh, these people are good people. Oh shit, is that what he was going for? Yeah.
And it ended up, as it went along, it ended up becoming also a way to represent the staff. When people ask me like, oh, when people in the industry get surprised when they see me somewhere else, it's like, who's minding the shop? Good people.
Yeah.
Good people are.
And
there's a team of good people there.
I want to throw this out there. Like, your team is fantastic.
Oh, I'm so proud of them.
Like,
I'm insanely proud of them.
Every single one. Like, I could go through and like name all the people that I know there, and they'd probably love a shout out, but y'all know who you are.
And they deserve it. And 100, they deserve their flowers. And that's why you see me more in the background than in the foreground, because I've also worked at spaces where the whole business is centered around an individual.
Yeah.
And when you center a whole business model, or even the brand of a business model around an individual, you're going to be always tied. I mean, Elon Musk is a perfect example when you tie an individual to a brand.
Yeah.
And I've worked in coffee spaces where they relied on so much on a quote unquote rock star barista or all that. And, you know, it really turns more into a toxic environment, because it does two things. It puts an individual on a platform. So everyone else on the team, you have this dynamic where it's like you got Jordan and the Bulls. And it's like,
hey, Scottie Pippen was a solid number 2.
It's like, Jordan wouldn't have done what he done if it wasn't for Pippen.
No.
For Rodman's defense and his rebounds.
Absurd.
No way. Like, he needed that team. He needed a team to be able to get it, because once you get out there, it's 5-on-5.
Yep.
And so, for us, our team, like, it's not us versus the customers.
No.
It's us versus the rush, the sense of urgency that the customer is going to feel. And so it can't be about a person. Like, it'd be unfair to them. It'd be unfair to myself. It'd be unfair to my family. It'd be unfair to everyone. Like, no way.
And it's sort of a balancing act too. Like, you want to make sure, you got to have the good product, but you also got to have, in coffee, any hospitality industry, wherever you're looking, you got to have that personal element. People want to come back. Like, I had my moment the other day. You were there, I think. It was like Dave and Raul in the back. I was like, JT's here. I was like, oh, this is my Norm moment from Cheers. Like, all right. I was coming back anyway.
Yeah.
But like, oh yeah, why would I go down the street?
Yeah.
Like, my spot's right here.
Yeah.
And it's that element where you integrate into somebody's life on a daily or semi-weekly cadence. And you get people to start feeling like, this is part of my life. This is part of my deal every day. And I think you're killing it on that. Not to just sit here singing your praises. I just happen to really enjoy what you do.
I do appreciate that.
Sipping on a matcha, having a good chat. Yeah, but so I guess, you're killing it. As far as I can tell, you got a couple of locations. But how'd you get here, man? Like, coffee, what?
Why coffee?
Yeah.
That's an interesting one, because if you would ask me 20 years ago, that's what I would have been doing. I would have never seen it. But also 20 years ago, like, the norm for us was Starbucks.
Yeah, they were second wave.
They were. I think we could call them the second wave.
Yeah.
And then from there, the third wave, you could probably say, was maybe ushered in by Intelligentsia and brands like Blue Bottle before it became corporate.
Yeah.
In L.A., I would probably say maybe like Handsome Coffee Roasters that then later got bought out by Blue Bottle. It was a very small era where, like, this resurgence of, like, okay, Starbucks introduced the espresso machine to us in the 80s. And that was cool to a point, but then it got to its level. And then we wanted to take it something else to all right, well, we want to know more about it. And there's actually a really great movie that came out about 12 years ago called Barista Film. And this was done by, I'm trying to remember his name. I know it's Rocky something. Really just an admirer of specialty coffee and decided to follow the career, or rather the trajectory of 6 competitors for the U.S. Barista Championships.
Right on.
And so it really, that movie, I think really embodies kind of what makes specialty coffee special. And it's sad that looking at it now in 2025, I had a Zoom meeting where we're talking about where coffee's going, and it's like we're all trying to keep up with Starbucks' trends of like the cold foam.
I always forget how impactful they are on that market. You're right.
It very much is, yeah.
Everybody's making their money on cold foams right now.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
get it.
Where what was supposed to be specialty coffee third wave has now turned into who can come up with the most clever brand or has the most aesthetically pleasing space. And then from there, you're going to find, for the most part, a replica of a Starbucks type menu. You're going to see a lot of sugary drinks. You're going to see a lot of stuff with pumps, stuff with pre-made syrups, stuff with preservatives. You're going to find maybe a blend and a decaf, possibly a single origin on batch brew, but that's going to be the extent of specialty. And I say this with
Big
20
old
years
quotes.
with quotes.
Yeah.
And the reason is because it's also become a lucrative business.
That's the point, yeah.
Optically. Truthfully, it's not. It's a very tough business.
When you're saying that, you're getting me thinking down a path. Somebody who's achieved that level of economy of scale, like Starbucks, it probably is still fairly lucrative. And they only need to maintain a certain percentage margin.
Yeah.
Versus what a smaller company like Good People or whoever's down the block, they're going to have a much higher margin. They just have to, because their supply chain is significantly more, let's say, stressed.
Yes.
They're a lot more tied to the ebbs and flows of the economy versus Starbucks, who's able to. I mean, you were talking about stockpiling some green beans during a period, not like canned green beans. I just realized what that sounded like. But being able to weather some of the storms.
Yeah.
And on their side, they're also presumably being driven by some of those other profits associated with, like you were saying, the extra sugars, the preservatives, lower quality products that they're able to churn out. And let's be honest, maybe I'm wrong here, but most baristas in the country probably getting their start at Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
Like every barista I talk to is like, oh yeah, I used to work at Starbucks and this, that, the other. I'm like, how'd you recover?
Yeah. No, we actually love hiring former Starbucks employees because they've had to deal with the corporate side of coffee. And then now they get to experience true specialty coffee. And so they have the customer service, the respect for food and beverage, the hygienic side of things. All that is already locked in and embedded, but you'd be surprised how many people want to just start working at a coffee shop and have no food and beverage background. And it's like, you're breaking like 3 health code violations right now. It's like, do you realize that like all these things? So it's like all that learning curve has already been dealt with.
They've got all the OSHA standards locked in. They had to.
Yeah, I know. Even now, some of our hires that, for example, that either work also at Intelligentsia full-time or part-time, which Intelligentsia used to be really like on the forefront of specialty coffee.
I was a subscriber.
Yeah.
I used to, they'd ship me whatever the coolest, newest single origins were.
Oh yeah.
2-3 bags a month. Let's go.
Yeah. Even still 6 years ago, I would tell you like, that's still a place to get really great coffee. Now it's another brand under Pete's umbrella.
I didn't know they were acquired.
Oh yeah. There's actually, it's funny. If you go to Ralph's, you'll see the coffee aisle and it's Pete's and then Blue Bottle Intelligentsia. And it's like, oh yeah.
But it's just like a
Intelligentsia. And I'm like, same.
It's like 3, maybe 4 standards. It's not the cool, sorry, I'll drop my snobbery.
No, believe.
But there are some really cool, they did some really cool light roast, single origin stuff 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It was mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, it is. But the real truth of that is, and this kind of funny conversation that I had a meeting in a Zoom call because of a side project that we're trying to embark, coffee related. And it's that the reality is that the market actually wants medium dark because it's safe. It goes with the sugars that they like, that goes associated with caffeine.
Yep.
even if you look at where the market was 10 years ago in regards to like, let's say a brand like Califia Farms.
Yeah.
So it's a California brand known amongst specialty coffee. After the pandemic, they pivoted their energies from working directly with specialty coffee to online advertising, Instagram ads, Facebook ads, and stuff like that, and focus more on their ready to drink lines.
I was going to say, these are the guys who do like the coconut milk, the almond milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right on.
now, like, if you look at the aisles now, like in the dairy aisle, you'll see so much additional products that they make, so many oat-based creamers and like for example, like
They've
anything
gone
like
wide.
anything carnation or like the old school creamers from back in the days. Now you see it in oat milk version, in almond milk version, in coconut milk version. And this is really where all these brands like Chobani, Oatly, Califia, that is really their bread and butter. And so this is where like smart roasters, like if you really want to stay, within the bigger part of the market share, roast medium dark. Now, because the market that likes light roast, like you and I, we're a smaller market.
Oh, for sure.
I'm
used to being the smaller market on everything. It just sucks.
Yeah, 100%. Like even like I go places and if there's not good coffee, I'm not going to have coffee.
Yeah.
It's just, I just won't. And I think we all kind of get to that, to the certain things that we like. And then for me, that's been that. And it kind of comes down like, and going full circle, going back to like the competition of how mom and pop shops really, we feel like we need to keep up and compete with Starbucks. Like we have to keep our prices as close to them as possible. We have to, like, for example, like a big shift that both Blue Bottle did and Starbucks followed, which then the same, it's that Blue Bottle made oat milk a standard as their milk option. And it looks on paper like progressive. In reality, it's done for shelf preservation because you don't have to buy that much refrigerators in each one of your locations because now you're working on a more shelf-stable product.
That's right.
That has a shit ton of oils and preservatives to make it shelf-stable for a year.
I read the ingredients on oat milk once and just said, I'm never. Never. Yeah. It's hard to, I know this is super rabbit hole, but like finding a good coconut milk is really hard. Califia has a good one. Not paid promoter here, but like they have one of the few where it's just like coconut water and that's about it. Like everyone else has 2 or 3 stabilizers. Everyone else has 2 or 3 preservatives. You have stuff that's shelf stable. It's great, nice, but I worry about it.
And the sad thing is that a lot of those preservatives are done for it to be shelf stable without refrigeration, and 2, so that it could steam and replicate dairy for latte art.
That actually tracks.
And it's like,
because you need a certain fat
certain emulsifiers, and that's where you get your xanthium gums. That's where you get a lot of these vegetable type gums. But then it's like, if it can bind that, what is it doing to your gut? So it's like, man, that opens a whole other conversation that I have with people that like, all right, you subscribe to this diet, but are you reading everything that are you doing? Or did you just buy into the phrase vegan or vegetarian and not look at everything else that is incorporated into that?
On the flip side, if somebody was to choose keto, you can't just read the macros. Where you're still going to end up in this low quality food product. That's not going to treat you right, or have elements that are replacing carbohydrates and are not actually digestible. I'm looking at some of the erythritals or some of the sugar alcohols that are leveraged in place of carbohydrates, and your system's not going to be good about it long term. Same exact deals.
So I mean, those are all factors that that is industry knowledge that when you, for example, we're already anticipating that there is going to be a supply chain issue with plant-based milks, but we already have blenders and are able to source cashews and almonds here in California so that we can make our own plant milk. And then, I mean, I already have the perfect line for saying well, I'm sorry if the latte art on your almond milk that we make here in-house doesn't look aesthetically pleasing and it separates a bit, but that separation, think about your gut and how if the other stuff doesn't separate,
what exactly are they doing to you?
And so it's just I mean, even we are what we eat. Food is the first medicine that I think most folks should consider, but unfortunately, I think our American way of living doesn't. I think people that are afforded the opportunity to travel more abroad get to see how other cultures live and realize Oh, we've really like bought into fast food, big pharma, and this is why there's so many people at risk with so many conditions in our country, because it's just we eat shit.
I kind of want to put on my tinfoil hat here and point out that the same people that are selling us and producing the drugs are the ones providing us with the food that's making us sick to begin with.
Oh yeah,
And it's
yeah.
this nice vicious cycle, as they say.
Yeah,
And look, I get it. I get why they do it. Doesn't mean I think it's a good idea.
yeah. No, like my wife being Australian, and we're in Australia, you don't have that connection.
Yeah.
And then I was explaining to her Procter and Gamble.
Oh, right on. Wow. I'd love to hear how that was explained.
It was just like, it's like, I had to explain it. I had to correlate it to Dick Cheney and how he sells you the missiles, but then also sells you the Band-Aids, the medicals, the gurneys, and the facilities, and also like we'll sell you the cleanup crew for the aftermath, and then all that. So
And we'll do all the, what do they
the
call
white
it?
glove service.
Yeah, we'll help you destroy them, and then we'll help you rebuild them.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it all covered. We're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
grim.
Yeah. No, I'm grateful for it, because like I get to relive the American reality from not looking at it as an American, and as you explain it to an Australian, and realizing like, so I know this doesn't make sense, but this is how we do things here.
And look, I'm sure there are some crazy water spins the other direction in the toilet kind of Australian things that I just won't understand.
Oh yeah, I mean during COVID, I mean Australians were really upset with the way the prime minister handled the lockdowns. I mean, some areas you couldn't leave 5 kilometers from your address. Police were literally set up checking your address, whether you were in radius. You had to have special permits to go around, because they're on an island, and so what they were afraid is that the virus would spread, and they actually didn't. It took them a while to get vaccines. Like I think they were almost like 9 months late on getting vaccines, as opposed to the United States. So they were just like, you know what, we're just going to wait it out. And I mean, they're going through inflation like we are, but it's at a much more controlled rate than ours, because they also didn't just manufacture money during the pandemic the way we did.
Yeah, we really did print a lot.
It was the biggest shift of wealth.
Yeah, there was the burr, money printer goes burr memes.
Yeah.
They were going wild.
Yeah, and so they didn't do that. And I mean, the middle class was really upset. The upper class chilled out.
They were fun.
But overall, it was more of like just an anger that they couldn't get around to do it, but they understood. And whereas here, like, I mean, as we were having that conversation coming in here, it was completely polarizing. Like it broke apart families, it broke apart friend groups, it broke apart so much, because it really actually, like, I mean, if anything, 2020 really just highlighted how angry everybody just really was at each other. And we just needed an excuse to just like become the police of fill in the blank.
Yeah, it got weird. And that had to hit y'all. When did you open the doors at Good People?
Those doors have been open for 40 years now. I became the owner in December of 2017.
Okay, so you had 2.5-ish years before things got a little weird. Right on. So, and I don't know, I wasn't here around for that.
Right.
But like, how did y'all handle that?
So I've lived in this neighborhood for about 12 years. Most of my coffee experience comes from West L.A. A lot of my favorite restaurants have outdoor seating, have outdoor patio. Whenever there's a chance to have somewhere to sit outside, like, I'll take it. And so when I took over the shop, it was just me and a couple friends. I hadn't even met Dee yet. And so my friends and I took on the responsibility of doing it. I literally maxed out all my credit cards and literally put all my savings on myself. Opened the shop. I was still on unemployment too when I opened the shop.
Okay. So this is scorched earth. We're succeeding, or there's no option.
Yeah. It's either this or I'm going back to my industry.
Right.
Which was graphic design. And so it's like, and I was already actually
tracks.
Yeah, and I was taking interviews for creative director positions. And there was a couple brands in LA that I was kind of interested in working with. And after being away from the design industry for about 6-7 years and kind of being able to dabble back into it, like I almost can kind of pick and choose where I wanted to work, because a lot of my friends in the industry had already gone out to different firms and different fields and stuff like that. So I was kind of contemplating it. The money looked good, but I just loved coffee.
Yeah.
And so I used to be a regular there at that place when it was called Cacao.
Right on.
And so, and the reason, and the way I came to know Cacao was through my friend Megan that was a manager. And I was her manager back in 2015. And so back in 2015, I managed this coffee shop called Espresso Cielo. And the lady that owns Espresso Cielo, she's insanely rich. Her husband owns, I would probably say, about 18% of Santa Monica.
So
Yeah.
insanely rich is a real.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you know, I'm
Right
talking
on.
about high finance. Like for sure they lost something in the Palisades. Her husband remodeled all the parking structures near the promenade for the city and actually worked the deal out to put one of his coffee shops right at the base on 2nd Street of it. So when I joined the team, I was managing her location on Main Street that goes towards Venice on Main and Marine.
Yep.
It's now called Norwal Coffee. And then I helped with the installations of all the coffee bar for Espresso Cielo that's still on 2nd Street. And so I was working there and Megan puts in her 2 weeks. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? What did Diane do? Because it was like, I joke around. If you looked at my LinkedIn under my time at Espresso Cielo, I called myself public defender because I was literally having to defend people's jobs all the time. Because this lady was just like, if she was just in a bad mood, she's like, you know what? I don't like the way JT's hair looks today. Give him a write-up. It's like,
I did wash it this morning.
Wrong
That
with
tracks.
JT's hair.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's unkempt. It's like, that's you. How am I going to bring this up? Like, and so it's like, it was like I had to remind her. I was like, I think you're violating HR. But it's like, I think we need to get an HR involved. And so it's like I had to even create a system for her to where like how many bar hours I spent with that person to almost have to like show her like, listen, I'm vouching for this person. Like this person is actually solid. They may not meet your particular criteria because you're insanely particular, but as far as being a person on the team, this person is an asset. They don't hold the team down. And so it was constantly that. And when Megan quit, I thought that was that. I mean, like Diane used to refer to her as bad Megan. We had 2 Megans on the team. And so the other one was good Megan. And then she's like, no, my friend is like, he's asking me to manage a shop. I was like, oh, what's it called? So she tells me it's Cacao. So I come and check it out. The coffee they used to carry there was out of the Bay Area, Ritual.
Yeah.
So
I know Ritual.
Really good coffees.
Yeah.
So, and that place was kind of more of like, it's always been eclectic. I mean, that vibe, that didn't go away. But the vibe that was there was it was a little different. It was a lot of skaters from Stoner Park would come and hang out there. That was back when Seba Walker lived in the neighborhood. He's a famous skater and muralist. He actually did the first mural ever on the walls inside that when it was Cacao. And so then I reached out to him. I said, hey, man, so we're like, I bought the place and we're going to paint and I don't want to paint over your mural. Is there any way like you can do something like on the walls or something? And so the first set of murals that we had outside the walls, or these coffee doodles, he did them. And that was his first outdoor mural. And I loved it so much that he did all this line work with a Sharpie on my arm. And this is the same doodles that were on the original mural at Good People back in January 2018.
That is dope.
Yeah. And so off the bat, I really wanted to respect what was already happening in that community. I didn't want to kill the vibes. The only thing that I was really just, hey, I think I need to kind of, set a line is that the former owner, he used to be an actor, kid actor in Hollywood, classic story, had to go through AA, NA, all this stuff. And so the space kind of became more of a hangout for AA folks. But then it also kind of had a rep for like, it was open from 8 p.m. to like 3 a.m. And because it was like bar hours, but you could smoke cigarettes in there and drink coffee. But then it also was kind of a creepy place where like college kids wanted to study and then old dudes would come and hang out and try to pick up on college kids. So like that vibe was a little weird.
That's a weird vibe.
Yeah. I was like,
I know a couple spots like that in Austin. Yeah.
And so it's like, I didn't really dig all that. And I'm a stoner, so I didn't really feel like I held up to the NA standards, you know? And then even though now in AA, there's Cali Sober, which is like, you could still be an AA and be a stoner, which is probably better for you anyways. but it wasn't the element that I wanted to bring, because what I wanted is create more of an inclusive space where it really wasn't about like that. It was just serving the community.
Yeah.
So I think the first hurdle I had was that the AA and A crowd was a little disappointed, but then it started off at 10, 15 customers a day, then gradually to 20, 25. I remember it took like 3 months before we made our first $1,000. We were so happy.
Seriously?
It was Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It was like, I still have the pictures in my phone. I still remember who was on bar. It was me, my buddy Tyler, that we had been already in coffee together for about 6, 7 years. My buddy AJ, whose job I saved at Cielo like a shitload of times.
Nice.
And my buddy Austin, who I met at Cielo, and I couldn't save his job because, he really fucked up.
Okay.
But I gave him a chance.
It happens. Yeah.
And it was the 4 of us. And it was just like, we were just so happy that because these were all baristas that I had worked with for different times and different seasons. And then my generation is the first generation where baristas became shop owners. This is how brands like Dayglow came out, Kumquat. Now, my buddy that ran Alchemist Coffee Project for years and now is doing his own thing, Wind. That's now a barista-owned shop.
All right, I got to check them out.
Be Bright is a perfect example. Frank, for years, worked at Copa Vida, which is like a big staple in Pasadena, L.A., and San Diego. Broke off, did his own thing called Be Bright. That's in that era, 2017. You start seeing baristas breaking off from their companies and saying, you know what, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah,
I'm going to bet on myself.
That's exactly what you want in any industry.
Yeah. And so from there, it was super simple. Like if you go to our gram and I think we posted this on December 17th last year, which was the actual 7th-year anniversary of the purchase of the place. And our menu was simple. It just said cold brew, pour over, espresso and milk. And then the prices, I think cold brew, it was like $5. Pour over, I think it was like $4.50 or $5. And then espresso and milk was $4 through $6. So depending whether, I don't know if you drank cortados, flat whites. I was open just to kind of deciding whatever the community wanted. But what I I was adamant about coming out with a good coffee program. And so I started off with a medium roast for milk when nobody was doing medium roast back then. It was really rare to find medium roast, but it was for me in extractions, with milk, these light roasts are they're too nuanced and too fruit forward to complement milk. There's too much acidity in them. But then I also came off the gate with the first anaerobic natural in LA. This is back in I cupped it in 2017. I was like, I'll take it. And my buddy's like, do you know the price of that? This was a roaster for Augie's Coffee Roasters. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. That's a fruit bomb. He's like, dude, that's an anaerobic natural. I was like, what is anaerobic natural?
Yeah. What does that mean?
I'm like, because I know what anaerobic means. And so that was my first introduction to even specialty processing in 2017, which is now you see our modern menu. Everything there is specialty processing. Anaerobic is probably the most basic ones of now. But palate wise, I was very ahead of it. But from the consumer side, understanding that folks need to be eased into this.
I was going to say, nobody's going to know what you just show up and say, hey, try one of these 3. This is a honey wash. This is an anaerobic process. This is you name it. They're going to be like, oh, so is that one sweet? Is that one weirdly yeasty? No, that's a secondary fermentation, JT. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's a bourbon barrel aged bean. Yeah. You know what you're going to get with it. But people aren't just showing up saying anything more than, oh, I want a cup of coffee. Yeah. So how do you have that conversation with a newbie or an old school, I just drink dark roast?
How do you like your coffee? That's why I ask you, how do you like your coffee?
Several times. Yeah.
And so go ahead and answer. How do you like your coffee?
Oh, honestly,
black or a little milk?
I want my coffee to be able to be black.
Black? Perfect. Yeah. Do you like something chocolate forward or fruit forward?
Depends on the day. Okay. Today, let's say I want something a little bit dark chocolate forward, maybe a little bit of some dried fruit or some stone fruit.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Then from there, I'll find one of my coffees. Yeah. I'll have you smell the jar.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, a lot of it, your
aroma. Can't confirm that's happened. Yeah.
Yeah. How many times have you had that experience? Where you're like, oh,
your place 7 or 10? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how we dial you in.
Yeah.
This is why we don't meet you at the register.
Yeah.
We meet you at the espresso machine.
Yep.
Because we need to find out what drink you're going to want. If I start the money, if our relationship starts with the register in front of us, we're having a transaction.
Yep.
But if our interaction starts with the product, then man, this reminds you like when you go get some really solid barbecue where you meeting the pit master.
That's right.
And he's slicing up the brisket for you and you're picking out your cuts. And you're like, ooh, can I get a little bit of the fatty side? Can I get a little bit of this? Can I get a little bit? Yeah.
When you're in Austin, you go into Franklin, you walk right by and they're like, hey, you got to try this pork, this shoulder, this turkey.
And I can't take credit for that style of customer service or hospitality whatsoever. In fact, if anything, that is how Intelligentsia got started.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You were met at the grinder. You were met at the espresso machine. You were met by the most knowledgeable person on the team to find out if you were going to be a cortado drinker or a pour over. We can kind of figure you out. And then from there, that way you have a good experience. And then as you see the whole craft happening, then it's like you don't mind, like, it doesn't become like, when you see the balance on the POS, it doesn't like you don't feel obligated to tip, or you don't feel obligated. We don't expect you to. It's like, if you do, we want you to want to tip. And so for the most part, when folks get to see like their drink being made in front of them, rather than just like you put in your order, then you get on your phone and you're waiting until your name gets called out.
Yeah.
That's a completely different interaction.
It's not the experience you're shooting for.
Yeah. No, the experience that we're aiming is to get it right the first time. And so that allows us a very minimal margin of error. But it also, from the business side, it also makes it so cost effective to not stuff it up. Because if I get the drink wrong, I got to fix that. And it's not just like, I'm not going to expect you to pay for another drink. It's like, that's not hospitality. Yeah. And so everything that we focus on, especially once Dee got involved in this, we really are very hyper-focused on how does the consumer view this? We always consider your perspective first. And then from there, adapt anything that we need to do on our end to make sure that your experience is seamless. And so people don't notice it until they go through the shop a few times and they start. And it's so cool that over the years now, when people bring a new friend, like, all right, hold on, you're going to order a drink here and they're going to have it ready for you there. And then it's like, I hear them kind of.
It's funny that people have to kibitz on that. I didn't even think about it. I just walk in and like, oh, this is what we're doing. All right.
Yeah. And so it becomes like, they're like, okay, no, so here's how they do this. And then it's like, when they get it, they're so grateful because they're like, oh my God, my drink's already in my hand. Even like on a super busy day, we're handing you a drink like within like 30 minutes from you ordering it because we're already working in an assembly line.
30 minutes. I haven't had to wait more than 5.
Sorry, I meant 30 seconds. And more so because we've probably already started pulling the shot on the drink you already asked for.
Yeah, for sure.
It's because we're already thinking preemptively. Even we see a couple people that we know are modern folks who already start pulling the pill jars and stuff. And it's a lot about being present in the moment.
Yeah.
And being present in the moment at work, it's a very difficult thing to do.
Well, it's super valuable. I mean, I talk about this a lot with people on and off the podcast, but finding a way to be present in the moment as you're saying it is also sort of finding this flow state, right? If you're doing graphic design or UI UX where you get into that mode, right? When I'm writing code or SQL, you get into that mode where you just start flowing through the logic. When you're doing this in a hospitality format, you're sort of envisioning the entire flow of what you're going to do, but you're not worried about what's next because you know it.
Yeah.
And you hear what the person wants and you're just kind of moving with it locked in.
Yeah.
I'm over romanticizing it, but it's a state that I love.
Oh, no, I mean, calling it the flow state is really like the most appropriate statement because it's been very unique to experience that. Like, for example, like pulling a shot of espresso, nailing a perfect latte art pour, nailing a perfect guitar riff, just like, sometimes like I'm teaching someone and I'm like, all right, this shot's going to pull at 22 seconds and it stops right at 22 seconds. Like being able to forecast those things. And it literally just kind of validates just a little bit more that like, man, I'm designed to do this. Like this is second nature to me. And that feeling of that to me is flow state. And it translates in so many things, even like the difference of like working out by myself or like working out with my trainer. Like when I work with him, like the hour goes by so quickly because we're focusing so much on correctiveness that like we're in that flow of like, all right, what am I doing wrong and how can I fix it? And it's like, oh my God, dude, I feel the difference now. All right, cool, thanks. Yeah. And it's just a real thing. So being able to like experience it in our industry, it's fun, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I was enjoying the idea of flow state in the gym because the other side of it, whenever I have a trainer, shout out to my buddy Paul, like it's also a conversation and
Oh,
it's also
yeah.
exploring where you're going to go next. There might be a program, there might be a plan. Something went wrong with that deadlift. We're going to move over here and do some
Yeah.
gobbies instead. Like that kind of deal.
And then even having a trainer that you get along with is great. Like my trainer, oh, dude, he's the best. He's,
Why would you want a trainer you don't get along with?
yeah.
Like-
Well, you'd be surprised. Some people like just to get beat up.
That's fair. You know what?
Some people like to, like, for example, my trainer tells me, like, there's some that don't want to even have like a buddy relationship. They want to have more of an employee relationship so that they're subjugated to the trainer.
Yeah.
Because they need that obligation. And so it's like they become chummy with their trainers and they probably are usually, for example,
I'm moving this into a sub-dom sort of a.
and if this, like, for example, let's say if you're in constant leadership.
Yes. Yeah, that's where I was going with this.
Then you need to put yourself in places where you're the trainee, where you're submissive.
That's right.
Because if you're constantly in the place of leadership and you're never out of there, you're always going to think you're right. You're always going to think your ideas are the best. You're not going to be as receptive to pushback or to constructive criticism. But if you switch back and forth and allow yourself to be going from trainer to trainee, leader to being led, then you're sharpening both skills at the same time. Very rarely do people have done the work on themselves to get that.
And you're maintaining a flexibility of mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, this is wisdom from a 45-year-old. This is not what I sounded at 35 or 25, you know?
I shudder to imagine conversations with myself at 35.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, we're probably arrogant pricks.
Oh God, yeah. I was so fucking annoying in my 30s. I was such a cocky asshole in my 20s. Like if I could have a conversation with me 20 years ago, I would be like, work on your temper sooner than later.
Yeah. Because you don't even see it right now.
You got the drive, but just work on your temper. Because one of the things is that it's like, if not, you may leave some lasting impressions on folks. That an apology will get you so far. Every cut leaves a scar.
It can. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But it's what we would hope is what growing up looks like. Because how many times do we see men at our age or older and they're still like, I mean, I had a conversation with a restaurant owner a couple doors down and he's in his 60s. And I'm like, why are you trying to challenge to fight me when you're so much smaller?
I was gonna say, you're not a small dude over here.
But also, like, you're in your 60s.
Yeah.
I'm like, your daughter is literally asking you to stop.
What are you hoping
can
the
you just
result
pause
will
and
be?
reason for a moment? But it's like, wow, I just saw him go from like a 2 to a 10. It's like, oh man, it's like you still have that old school machismo in you. You're still like that angry little Latino dude. It's like you never outgrew that, and that's sad.
I wonder why some folks do and some folks don't grow out of that. And I literally wonder. I don't know.
I think it's identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that a lot
Just leaning into it, and that's what they've had to do to get where they are. And they well, I mean, yeah, okay, identity, and then incentive structure, and this is what's worked.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's that simple.
I mean, sometimes people like fighting for what they have. That's all they've known.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to like release. For example, like if you would have asked me in the first couple of years of the coffee shop, how would I have felt about selling it or moving on? I would have told you, no way, not at all. You asked me today, I was like, cool, yeah, what's the next project? What's the next project? You know,
Yeah, you were saying that the other day.
Yeah, it's the more I hold on to it, it's like holding on to a fistful of sand.
Yeah.
The tighter you squeeze, it's just going to go right through your fingers.
Right.
So I think that when folks hang on to certain ideologies or certain character traits of themselves that have gotten them success in the past, it would be difficult to let that go, because then if you don't have that, who are you?
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a psychiatrist a couple years ago, and it was mostly really just I was trying to find a sleep aid because I just wasn't getting my full even 6 hours of sleep. I was finding that every day I was waking up at 3 a.m, and it was just with this, like, I wouldn't call it anxiety the way most folks feel anxiety, like in negative response or anything like that. It's more of a sense of urgency of my to-do list and my task list of the day.
Yeah.
And so
we've talked about this. Yeah.
And whether I wake up at 3 a.m. and start it, or I go back to sleep and get my full rest and wake up at 7 a.m. and start it, I'm only going to get X amount done that day.
Yep.
And so, like, on a conscious level, I understand that. But subconsciously, this task list wants to push through. So I'm talking to a psychiatrist to get a prescription for some kind of sleep aid, maybe some advice. she starts asking me about my history, about stuff like that. And so I share with her a little bit of, I mean, I've already worked it out, but I grew up under a lot of abuse, trauma, physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse. And it's, I don't wish it upon anybody, but I can stand here today and say that I'm grateful that it made me strong.
Yeah.
I'm also grateful that today my dad and I have a healthy relationship. Today, him and I really we really care about each other.
Yeah.
And so he was also a product of bad parenting. His parents were a product of bad parenting. And so this is a generational thing. And so it's like, I can sit here and play the victim, or I can say, you know what? I learned from there. I grew from there. But as I was explaining this, the psychiatrist, she's like, oh, I need to put you on Lexapro. I was like, pump the brakes here.
Yeah.
You've only been talking to me for 20 minutes. So you want to stifle my creativity by putting me on Lexapro?
Oh, that was my experience at Lexapro. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, no, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, I just need something to go to sleep. I was like, I don't need something that's going to rob me of my creativity and turn me into a zombie during the day.
Yeah.
And she was so offended by that. And I said,
Interesting.
And I asked her, I was like, how long have you been practicing medicine? And she's like, 3 years. And I'm like, I have trauma that is longer than the time you've been practicing. You should really reconsider the type of medicines that you're so loosely prescribing. I was like, if it's okay with you, I want to end the session here. I'm like, and I'm gonna go back to my psychologist for another referral. But I was like, I'm sorry, but I disagree with your diagnosis. And so she's like,
which is totally fair.
And she's like, but how are you dealing with this trauma? I was like, successfully. I was like, you didn't ask me, what my relationship with the people that victimized me are. You didn't ask me how I feel about it. You didn't ask me if I had closure. You hadn't asked me if I've worked on it. And when I started hitting her with all these real heavy questions, my sister's a psychologist. And it's like, and so it's like, we joke around. I was like, you did it to figure out what the fuck was wrong with us, right? As a family.
That's funny.
And so.
That's funny and terrible, and I love it.
But that's our sense of humor. Like us Herreras, we're savages. We have a very savage sense of humor. And so, and it's funny, but actually I'm the most lightest out of all of them.
Yeah, you seem pretty chill. Yeah.
My mom is a savage. I get my sarcasm from her.
Right on.
And I get the condescending sense of humor from my dad.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And it's very reserved. And I look back now because I've done the work on myself. It's like I had a perfect example today or this weekend. Crazy busy Saturday.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we had a Karen.
Y'all were slam sack.
Yeah. It was fun too. And so this lady comes through and she orders a dirty chai. She gets a dirty chai. She gets charged for a dirty chai. She goes to sit down. She's drinking it. And as she's had about 3 sips, she realizes there's coffee in the dirty chai. So she comes
That's what a dirty
back.
chai is.
Yeah. That's what a dirty chai is. Well, we would think everybody would know, but, Saturday, apparently someone did not. And so when she came in, she comes in angry. And I come into the bar as I walk in and then she just walks a few steps behind me and I just hear her just lashing out at Cindy. And she's like, what is wrong with you guys? Why is there coffee in my dirty chai? She's like, because you ordered a dirty chai. And she's like, no, I ordered a chai latte. She's like, yeah, but when dirty means with espresso. She's like, how am I supposed to know that? It's like, I'm allergic to coffee. I was like, whoa. Probably something you should know when you walk into a coffee house. If you know that you have an allergy there, I'm allergic to raw onions.
Yeah.
I make sure to ask, I always read the ingredient list and I always double check with the staff. Do you know if there's any raw onions on top of it? I always double check. And there's some plays, some dishes I just can't eat.
Yeah.
And that it is what it is.
Yeah.
This lady, she decided rather than to try to just yelling at it while there's a whole other line of people and everyone's just kind of looking at her. And then there's an event going on in the backyard. So at a moment they faded out the music and Dee forgot that we have independent faders. So we can actually just fade out the music in the patio and the music inside the shop and in the front can still play.
Yeah.
And so she muted the music. So it's quiet as this lady's just being like a mega Karen.
Oh.
And so I was like, all right, don't worry guys, let's remake the drink. So I'm starting to remake it. So I start with the chai concentrate. I get the brown sugar. She's like, stop. And she just yells across the shop. I'm like, And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm making you your chai latte. She's like, what's that in your hand? I'm like, this is brown sugar. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it says brown sugar. And then she's like, oh, okay. And so I'm like, all right, fine. And then, so we make her drink. And then I hand it to her. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Here you go. And then from there, she goes, but I paid $8. This is an $8 drink. I was like, okay, no. So chai latte, $6. So I just go to the register. I don't want to start combing through the transactions and try to find like which ones are transactions. Let me just take $2 from the register. We'll sort it out later. Here you go. I'm so sorry. And I gave her the $2. And then as she walks out, she's still complaining. She's like, oh, so $6? I think I got overcharged way more. And so I hear her still complaining about money because there's no music, mind you. So I go back to the register and grab $2 more. And I go out to the patio and I find where she's sitting. And then I put $2 more on the table for her. And I say, sorry about our mistake. We were super busy today. This one's on us. Yeah. And then she started saying something to me. I just walked away because I needed to get back to the line. As we go back to the line, music's back on. Everyone's like, oh my God, that was weird. Everyone's just kind of laughing at it. Gosh, that one was a Karen. And and the funny thing is I have a shirt. It's in Spanish, says, "Karen, no jodas." And we were just joking around, just at them like, damn it, why didn't I wear that shirt today? And so then we're thinking everything's fine. And then they make another announcement. So they pause the music again and it's quiet and we're still dealing with the line. And so now she's finished her drink. And now instead of exiting to the patio, she decides to come back in through the coffee shop.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's got to really get her last word in. And so she's like, you know what? I've been blah, blah, blah. I've been going to coffee shops for so many years and you should really work on your customer service and telling me everything that I'm doing wrong. And meanwhile, I'm grinding, blah, blah, blah. She interrupted me as I was taking somebody's order. And mind you, the music got muted again. So she's got the entire room to herself and this whole line of people and just decided to be a complete Karen. And so I just looked up to her and said, just nodded in agreement. And I didn't want to, I don't want to enter the dialogue with her because there was
you don't want to engage at this point.
There's no dialogue. She doesn't want to have a dialogue.
No.
Everything inside of me wants to say, hey, just keep in mind today's your day off, but we're working.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Just keep in mind that it's a weekend holiday.
Yeah.
Yet we're working.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this ain't your weekend.
Yeah. Like we actually sign up to work on weekends because those are your days off so that you can come consume here. So it's like, there's so many things that I want to say, but it's like entering into dialogue with this person is pointless because like she's just enraged. And so as she exits and everybody's just waiting for me to just say something.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's just like, I just looked like somebody really needs a hug and wanted to get the last word in. And then just the room just explodes in laughter because like it didn't get to me. Like that was her problem.
Yeah.
She got the right drink she wanted. She got her money back.
Yep.
She hung out in the patio for another 30 minutes. So it's not like she hated the vibe.
No.
She just really wanted to get her last word in. So it's like, I let her.
Yeah.
I let her. And it was funny because the whole crew was waiting for me to just say something. And then I was telling, and it actually became a learning moment where I told him like, yeah, stand up for yourself if you feel like you need to. But then there's some people that it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
And then you actually, it reminds me like of this, it's a folklore story in Spanish. My grandpa used to tell me all this time. And it was about, the point is of shrugging things off. And the story is that this man, he has a donkey and he doesn't want to deal with this donkey anymore. It doesn't do what it wants it to do. And so he doesn't want to do the dirty work. So he tells his handyman, you know what, go dig a hole and bury this donkey. I'm over it. And so the worker's like, well, I don't want to kill the donkey either. And so he's like, fine, I'll dig the hole. And so he leads the donkey into the hole. And so he just turns his back and he's just shoveling dirt into the hole. And so when he's done shoveling the dirt, he turns around and the donkey's standing right behind him. And he's like, what happened? It's like the donkey's like just shrugging it off the entire time. And and that was my story to them. I was like, sometimes you just got to learn to just shrug it off and just realize that person's in the wrong and everyone in the room can already see it. You get an opportunity, especially for a person of color, to take a step back and be like, see, this is what we deal with. And you don't have to say anything. Like, perception is the most truthful thing that happens. And if you can just be like, see, you win.
Yeah.
You win.
Pretty much every time.
Yeah. And so it's like that. I didn't even have that maturity level when I started. I would take everything personal. It's like,
Yeah.
because it's like you're putting yourself out there and then, but it takes years to really like get to that point where you're like, you know what, like if you dig it, great. If not, no big deal. No worries. But you know, that was after years. That was after, I mean, I as a person have gone through so much that like her trying to tell me what to do in front of everybody in my own coffee shop, especially like my wife's on the till, we got 2 of the crew there, I'm on the other end. I was like, ma'am, you're already losing at life. Like, she don't need
she's got her own stuff she's going through right
Yeah.
now. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe tomorrow she'll be having a better day.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
And that's, I was like, someone really needs a hug and we're going to get the last word.
That's right. That's right. Gosh.
Yeah, it's like maybe she needed that little win for
Go team.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there you go. And hey, if that kept her from like leaving a negative review or something like that, even better. Because she sometimes she got to let it out there instead of letting it out on the internet like most do, you know, and especially these platforms just really incentivized hate and just antagony and just
well, it gets people engaging. And that engagement is probably something they don't have enough of. And this isn't me like shit talking people who don't have enough engagement in their life, but it is this self-reinforcing approach to engagement. Yeah.
Every person that I find that has like their outlet is either being like a Yelp leader or like a foodie reviewer or something like that. I'm like, man, your 9 to 5 really sucks, doesn't it? Because I remember when I had a boring 9 to 5 and I had a shitload of hobbies.
Yeah, that's fair. You're making me reconsider my crap level 6 Google Maps status. I could really up those numbers, Chuck. Like,
I like the Google one though. I do like the Google one because at least you can rate a place without having to leave remarks.
Yes,
and you can help someone in the algorithm without even having to leave like either false compliments, because Yelp will tell you, keep going. It's almost there. A little stronger. Do you want some AI help? It's like, it's about to ask you that.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, whereas like Google's a little more truthful. And actually as a business, if someone leaves a 1-star and like I report it, the very first thing Google checks if that person actually was there.
Yeah. I've noticed it's keeping tabs on where I am. I've started to turn off my location.
Yeah. But the plus side is that because it also becomes a weapon. For example, like a way you can report a bad review. Sometimes it's another business that's like a competitor when they're getting their friends or their employees or stuff like that. It's unfortunately, it's in the food and beverage industry. It gets things can get really salty fast.
Yeah. Well, and everybody's got their own money in the game.
Like
not everybody, but a lot of people that I talk to have done exactly what you described. Bootstrapping, using their own credit card debt, putting their whole life savings into it. It means a lot to these folks, and giving them these opportunities to compete this way. It's kind of new.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not new, but what, 20 years old?
Yeah.
Like, this is a new construct for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like the 60-year-old man down the street from you who's having a bad day, he came to that stuff late.
Yeah.
He probably found that in his 40s, 50s, and is still navigating all that and is still keeping that mindset.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's ever changing. And even now it's interesting, the dynamic of social media, AI and all that, and geo-tracking, how it helps businesses and how, like, I mean, if you're savvy enough, I mean, you can really monetize it and use it. And then if you have a killer product to support it, then that's it, man. You made a client base, you know? And so, but it really is like, it almost makes me realize like how outdated a billboard is.
I still read them and laugh, but most of them out here, it's for shows I'm never going to watch because the executives just want to see their product up there.
Speaking of ads, have you seen the billboard ad on Federal for a handgun?
I thought that was wild.
Yeah, I've never ever seen a billboard in West L.A. for a handgun.
That was super surprising. I've read that 3 or 4 times, but I'm like,
it's
why?
Insanely shocking.
It's surprising.
Yeah.
Movie billboard, the guys with the cool beards that are fixing your drains or your roofs. And then a very specific, looked like a 9mm.
Yeah.
But like a small format.
Yeah. Super concealable handgun.
Yeah.
That's all I see. I'm like,
that's all I saw.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. I'm a terrible observer.
Yeah. But you're not the first person to have that kind of shock factor.
I was surprised.
When I bring it up. Yeah.
When I'm in other states, I'm like, yeah, that tracks.
But here? No.
West L.A., it's a surprising, Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not the only one who saw that and was like, huh.
And it came up after the fires. I know because it's right in front of my place.
Well, I was going to say I want to say it's in the last month that it went up.
Yeah, it came up in February.
Oh, it's been there that long? I feel bad. I didn't notice it until
Well,
this
I
month.
see it because
Yeah.
it's like from my rooftop, I can see it.
Right on.
From the gym in my place, I could see it.
Gotcha.
My trainer, he brought it up to, I was
He's like, what's up with that?
Yeah, my dude. I'm like, that's not common here.
I'm
This
only
is
3
something
weeks
new.
into seeing that
Yeah.
billboard, so my bad.
Yeah, but it caught your attention.
It did.
Yeah.
I thought
Which
you were
is
going to
the-
talk about like Netflix, The
Yeah.
List, or the 28 months later or years
Yeah.
later or whatever is
Oh,
coming
it's so
out.
funny. Me and Deez looked at it, I'm like, wow, that's a real long stretch.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it out too.
Even the soundtrack of those movies are great.
It's good.
Yeah, really. I remember having the soundtrack of 28 Days Later. It was so good.
Dude, I forget that I need a good zombie movie sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's this sort of urge. But you know what? I say that when you're back in LA. Oh, this is going to sound terrible. Just go down to Skid Row.
Yeah.
Like, done needing my zombie movie fix. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this
Yeah.
is real. Yeah.
I used to cycle a lot through downtown. It's fun, but then you take some wrong turns. You're like, shit, I got to pedal fast. Yeah, you end up around 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street, down just south the little Tokyo,
Yep.
around San Julian.
Yeah, the women's shelter right there. It's
Yeah.
kind of surrounded.
And it's unfortunate that it's been like that for almost 20 years, and it's getting worse.
It is.
It's getting worse.
When we were here last time, it was rough.
Yeah.
Early pandemic, it was pretty rough down there. But a buddy of mine I went to dinner with last week was saying, yeah, it's an open air drug market. All the packages that got stolen from people's front doors. Yeah, it's all open and they're selling all that. I don't remember that from 6 years ago,
No,
5 years ago.
with the inflation and really the recession that
No one's been
pointing out-
talking about for a minute. Yeah.
No, the low income and poverty is so extreme.
It is.
I mean, even for example, in San Bernardino, I was spending time with my family last week, and my dad was telling me that they have a church near downtown San Bernardino, and San Bernardino used to be a thriving town, and it
Yeah.
kind of just died out.
I didn't know
Like
that.
it used to have a mall, they tore it down, and there's this empty lot that has now been just a refuge for displaced. There's almost like 200 families on a lot. So imagine like the empty lot that we just walked by on
Yeah.
Barrington and
I have
Santa
no
Monica.
idea what they're doing there, but yeah. Yeah.
Well, there was meant to be a Whole Foods for a long time, but they found contamination in the soil.
Oh, that would have been a nice spot. All right.
And so, we've all been crossing our fingers waiting. That was meant to revitalize this whole neighborhood of
That would do
Sawtell.
it.
They even, where the courthouse is, where the current farmer's market is,
Yeah.
there's a huge project in place that they kind of want to create. Have you gone to Culver City, like the Culver City Stairs, where like it's called the Culver City Stairs, but it's all these little restaurants tucked away?
Yeah.
They kind of want to do that there in that area and kind of take down where the skate park is, where the old library, it was an old municipal building and stuff like that there, and just revitalize that neighborhood. And Whole Foods was meant to go out there, and that's been
Wait, they want to get rid of the Stoner Park skate?
no, not the park, but
Oh,
over
okay.
where it's more the municipal building right on Santa Monica Boulevard, and I want to say where I think it's Pontius. It's like that little dead end street where the
Mhm.
farmers market is, and
Yep.
all that area where kids have just kind of made it a skating area. and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
got you.
But there has been developers that have submitted projects to like revitalize that whole area and like recreate it, even kind of like what they did on Olympic and Bundy.
Yep.
How like they just recreated this whole structure and made more internal kind of areas where like it kind of just feels like you're creating more districts and you're kind of creating more closed off sections.
Yeah, it feels a little. That's exactly what it feels like over there.
Yeah. And so if, for example, Tracy Parks here, that's the councilwoman in this section, if she wasn't on top of that, if LAPD on this side of town wasn't on top of that, you would see for sure, like that would be an encampment. Even if you ever go up Federal, do you ever go up Federal, like going towards Brentwood by the
Once in a
VA
while,
hospital?
Yeah, once in a while, yeah.
You'll see all the RVs.
Yep.
And those are all soldiers, veterans.
Damn, I didn't know that.
They're veterans that's a hospital. And some of them,
Okay.
some of their issues are so severe, that's the only place they can get treatment. And their economic status is so severe, that's the only
They
thing they
can't
can
afford
afford.
to be there.
Yeah.
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 Because
So
I mean, this isn't like the hoi polloi section of
Yeah.
LA, but we're still in West LA.
yeah.
I mean, we're not far from some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes that way.
There's this homeless dude that hangs out near the shop. He sometimes hangs out in front of the other coffee shop. Black dude, his name's Henry.
I think
You
I've
always
seen-
see him stretching, drinking water, stuff like that.
I try to say hey to him. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes he'll hang out.
Sometimes
like,
he'll be
on
lathering
Barrington.
himself up.
Yeah,
I know the guy. Yeah, I just saw him on the way over. Yeah.
He's a soldier. And
Seems like a really nice guy.
he is. He's a really cool dude. I've always told him, man, whenever you need something, you just let me know, stuff
Yeah.
like that. He's super polite. It was just, And he stays around here because he's a veteran.
Yeah.
And the VA hospital's right up the street. And that's the only place he can get service.
What was his name?
Henry. Yeah. And it's like stories like his are very common around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like like we're very privileged on this side of town to not see the super ugly side of it. But it was just like, I was explaining to my wife, like she was reading this headline about the mayor of Lancaster, how upset he is with it. And he basically said, well, if these homeless people just want to do drugs, give them all the fentanyl. And he says this in abrasive kind of, obviously that's not an answer to the solution, but you know, this homeless problem, a lot of it is stemmed from a drug addiction problem, a vice problem, an escape from reality problem, a mental health problem. It's not like fentanyl is the drug of choice. It's not like it was prescribed. It's what's available. It's what's on the streets. It's cheap.
What's available after you're coming off of
from your real reality that you have no home.
And the idea that the predicate is an attempt to escape, there's almost certainly an element of that that's true. And we're not that far off from, remember everybody talking about the opioid epidemic?
Yeah.
Where we were over-prescribing these opioids, these painkillers. Well, yeah, okay, good. We took that away. Where are they going? $10 bags of heroin, fentanyl. Like, these folks have an addiction, and it's not just a mental thing. It's a physiological
It's chemical dependence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even alcohol develops a chemical dependence.
It can and does for a lot of people.
100%, dude.
But I look around these folks, like I spend a lot of time up in Portland. You see people, you can tell they're on fentanyl. Like 24 degrees and they're ripping their clothes off, trying to get cooled down as their body is overheating and they're racing up and down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And y'all can't stop. And this is across the street where I was staying that time. It was right across from a halfway house.
Yeah.
Everybody coming and going there was no halfway about it.
Yeah. No, until you've been around people that are really have a dependency of narcotics, that you can have empathy for them.
Yeah. Because
it's like, nobody wants to be addicted to meth. Nobody wants to be addicted to opioids. Nobody wants to be addicted to fentanyl, but what it does to the chemicals in your body, the release of the dopamines and all that stuff, and then the absence of it.
Yes.
It's very real. I mean, I'll share something with you in my past.
Yeah.
From the age of 19 to 21, I was addicted to meth, and I was selling meth at anywhere from 4 to 6 ounces a week.
I had no idea.
This was back in like the late 90s.
This is your new metal era.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. There's a lot of that.
And that was when it was starting off, and especially like in the Inland Empire, all that area, that we were. I mean, my roommate was a cook.
That was early days.
He could cook it up, and he was really good at cooking it. And that was a time in my life where I was a club promoter. I was involved in just like underground parties, underground rave scene, underground party scene, and all that. And so, like, it was easy for me to it was easy to get hooked. I got hooked on the first time I did it. It was like a roller coaster ride. It was like, oh my God, I want to get on it again. And then from there, because I was partying 5-6 nights a week, and it was so easy to just start selling because like everybody was always hitting me up for it anyway. So it was like, oh shit, like
might as well get
be the
consistent supply.
Yeah. So all that, like like there was so many times I wanted to quit and I couldn't. I wanted to, but like the drug like calls you back.
Like you hit physical dependency, or was it an
100%.
habituation?
Yeah, my addiction was so bad that I was smoking and snorting close to almost about an ounce a week. I would go on like,
I don't know what dosing is on any of that, but that sounds like a lot.
That's a shitload of fucking meth. Yeah, that's a shitload of meth. Like, for context, like an ounce, we're talking about 28 grams. Okay. So the first time I ever did any was 1/10 of a gram.
Okay. That helps contextualize.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like when I first started doing it, like, oh, you'd pick up a little 20 sack from someone. A 20 sack was literally 0.2 grams of meth in a little baggie. You'd take a quick little hit, or you smoke a little bowl of it, and a couple hits, you're good. But it's like every drug, just like when you start drinking, a beer or two, you're good. Oh my God, you're good. Next, but 6 or 7 beers. Next thing you know, it's 11 or 12 beers. Yeah. Everything has its progression. And so
you build up tolerance, you build up. Yeah.
And that drug definitely too, because it's a combination of an upper, like speed, crank, Coke, but then it has a little dabble of LSD where you got a little psychedelic in there too.
Does it? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. And so you start hallucinating. Especially if you start, depending how your body reacts to it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't until years later that I learned that actually meth had a 91% return rate of users.
I've heard that.
I remember reading about this story about this young couple that they did it for the first time at a college party. And then from there, they ran out of beer. So they decide to go to the store to get beer. Their car runs out of gas. And because they're so hopped up on meth, they decide to walk back. They ended up freezing to death. They ended up getting hypothermia out there.
Didn't even notice.
And literally from just one time doing it.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And so for me, it was like where I hit my rock bottom was really just, and I share this story with a bit of, it's been used against me in my past.
Sure.
But I'm not afraid of my past because I've gone through my mistakes. But there was a time I was selling in large amounts. And one of my clients was actually up north near San Francisco. And so my usual drop-off day with him was on Tuesdays. So I did my Tuesday drop-off. Friday night, me and my buddies were just hanging out. We had just picked up a bunch of weed. We were about to roll up some joints, order some pizza, just chill and hang out. And then next, I get a call from my buddy up north and he's like, hey man, he's like, I need another 4 ounces. Like, I just came back from there, like with 4 ounces. Like, I know. He's like, I'm already dry. All right, dude, back in those days, that was nearly about a $6,000 drop off. Like my net from that sell was going to be about $4,800.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's like, yeah, we're going to take a drive up north. So me and my buddy Manny jumps in the car with me. We were like, well, roll up these joints, dude. Like, I guess we're road tripping it. So we're listening to tunes.
Oh no.
Smoking weed, smoking a little meth, and just,
dude, I don't know where this is going.
Driving up to 5. And then right around 7 a.m. we get to Monterey. And I'm meeting him at a different place. And so I don't quite know the streets. And as I exit the 5, I make a right and I realize that I blew a stop. And then as I make my right, I noticed that there was a cop right under the underpass. And then he turns his car on. And then I'm like, Manny, start hiding everything. We're about to get pulled over. And so he's like scrambling, but trying to push shit away. And we were tapping into the bag that we were about to sell, because it was a little over 6 ounces. So we were just kind of dapping at it and stuff like that. And it was in a big Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
And so I quickly roll it up, and I was driving a Honda Accord raced out. This is 2001, the Fast and the Furious days.
I got you.
And my seatbelt had this shoulder pad.
Yeah.
Powered by, and then some Japanese letters. And I quickly grab it and I shove the bag underneath it.
That's kind of genius.
And of course, from there, as the officer comes, I start rolling the windows out to air out the car because it smells like weed and everything. And I take my seatbelt off. And so he asked me for my license, registration, and he comes back. And I'm just like, I'm shitting it. I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, oh, fuck. And so my buddy's freaking out. I'm like, just chill. Thankfully, we didn't have any guns on us or anything like that. We just had the drugs on us. And he comes back and he's like, hey, are you aware that you have an arrest warrant? And I'm like, I missed a court date on this issue that I have, but I wasn't aware that my lawyer didn't tell me I had a warrant. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, it's actually a probation violation warrant. And so it's a red flag warrant. And so a red flag warrant in the state of California basically is typically if it's like let's say a quick bench warrant or something like that, depending on the sheriff, usually they'll be cool about it and be like, hey man, just go take care of this ticket.
Yeah.
But when it's a red flag warrant, like that's an automatic arrest. That's because you violated some terms of your parole or felony probation.
Okay.
And at that time I had pled guilty to stupidly to a felony case where my roommate had stolen a car. But he hid it in the garage because he was going to take some parts out of it to fix his girlfriend's car.
Okay.
Never got around to it. 3 days later, LoJack picks it up. And so
it's in your place.
And
so
we get
now
arrested.
You're an
And
accessory
so
to...
the district attorney keeps grilling me. I didn't steal the car. I never touched the car. You're not going to find my fingerprints on that vehicle. And so finally and I didn't have an attorney. And so the public defender's like, look, I can get them to let you go home today if you plead guilty to receiving stolen property. I was like, what are the terms going to be after that? She's like, oh, you're just going to do like 60 days, weekends, community service, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, fine. And so just to get out of it, because I had already been in jail for like 2-3 months and was over it. And so, so I played guilty, got out, and then, but just like an asshole 20-year-old, just ignored my legal obligations with courts. And so,
Nice.
so then the officer asked me to step out of the vehicle. I step out, he cuffs me. He asked my friend to step out. He's like, I'm just going to search real quick. And then he puts me in the back of the cop car. Immediately, I know I'm going to jail. I mean, I know I'm already going to jail for the probation violation, but I realize I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to prison for transport. This is going to be a 7 to 10 year, especially this was 2001 where like meth, like cops were really after meth. Like they were really feeling like they were losing the battle of it for the last 5 years.
Was this the era, like the full-on war on drugs era? Or was that the 90s?
That was the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, like 80s into 90s.
80s, 90s. Okay.
Yeah, this was more of a San Bernardino, L.A. issue.
Got it.
Where like meth was the first homemade drug that had actual competition to cocaine.
Got it.
Which is an imported drug. And so this really threw off like law enforcement. We're like, wait a minute, like we're used to drugs coming up, not drugs coming from here.
Yeah.
And so this is how it really became an insanely lucrative business, but also like why it became a pandemic or epidemic here.
Epidemic, yeah.
So I know the reality of what I'm doing. And so in that moment, I grew up in church and stuff like that. I always hated when people would come to church because of some issue. Like, oh, got a DUI, I beat up my wife or whatever.
So now you're showing up to church. Now
my wife wants to leave me. I'm coming to Jesus to help fix my problems. And it's like, I don't believe in that. I don't believe that faith was designed for that. So at that moment, I just looked down and I had my head down and I was like, because I don't even want to see, I don't even want to see him when he finds a package. I don't want to, I'm just looked down and I just realized, I'm like, fuck. I have this moment where I'm examining my life and I'm realizing like, I am a professional criminal and I am really good at it. And if I go to prison, I'm going to come out like a lot more, a lot worse. Yes. And so that reality sinks in and I just said one prayer and I just said, God, I'm going to prison and I need you to go with me because I do not want to come out worse than the way I came in. And then I just was waiting for him to tell me like, what's this bag of meth? And so he opens the door and then he's like, are you okay for your friend to take your car? He said you would be okay with it, but I need to double check with you as the registered owner. And I was like, and then I look at him and he's like, big eyes, just like, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, and he's like, okay. Also, by the way, he's like, I found your weed pipe. I'm gonna go ahead. I just went ahead and threw it away for you. I don't want to add more stuff on the pile that you're dealing with already.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, thank you. And then he's like, yeah, I was like, sorry, man, I got to take you in. He's like, I'm sure this is not how you wanted to spend your Saturday. And
that's some wherewithal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I was just in shock of what was happening. And then my friend takes the car. He takes me to this little police station where I'm like in this little single cell, so like movie-esque. And in that moment, I realized like, holy shit, I just really like dodged a huge bullet.
Yeah. And totally got a second chance.
Yeah. And what really like sunk in, I was like, I have a second chance to do life.
Yeah.
And I need to stop living this selfish life that I live.
Yeah.
I live such a destructive life. And it was really in that jail cell that it hit me how destructive I was and how I was trying to destroy myself. How much pain I had been causing my family, had pain I'd caused other people, pain that I was even inflicting on my own self. Like I really had this is such a common expression, no regard for life, but I truly had no regard for life itself, much less my own. And in that moment, I remember just saying like, God, if you're real, like, I need you in my life. I need a purpose in my life. And I was literally just overwhelmed with this like sense of just peace and tranquility. And then I just fell asleep for like 7 hours. Mind you, I had just done a shitload of meth.
Yeah, that's not lost on me. Yeah.
And I remember then from there, like they woke me up, hey, we're going to transport you to county. And so they transported me. Once I got transported, I called my folks.
Yeah.
And I mean, that wasn't the first time they got a call from me from jail. And so it's like, will you accept a call from an inmate at blah, 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 blah. And my dad's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm actually in Monterey. Don't worry about it. Things are going to be okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, talk to me. What's happening? What do you, I'm like, sure. I'm like, I just missed a court date. Didn't want to go into details with him because everything was just so fresh. And so when I woke up from that sleep, I literally just felt at peace. I didn't care that I was sitting in a jail. I didn't care that I was in like, those jumpers and the flip flops and your blanket and you go find a bunk and stuff like that and all that. That reality didn't seem to matter. Like I felt like I finally was alive.
Yeah.
Experienced no like withdrawals. I experienced no cravings. I experienced like, it was for me like the type of detox really that I needed. And I ended up spending 5 weeks in jail until I finally got finally got transported down to San Bernardino County. And then after I saw the judge, because it's automatic 30 days before you see a judge when you violate a probation. It's just almost like, all right.
The clock starts.
Yeah. It's like automatic like that. But everyone that gets in trouble always says, well, at least you're getting credit because it's going to go towards your time.
Yeah, all right.
You got to be optimistic in something.
Yeah.
And so, and yeah, to me, I was just like, screw it. I'm just doing my time. And I did. And when I got out, like, I didn't go back to my old life. I didn't go back. I hung on to a handful of friends who I really felt were my friends in life. But from there, I didn't go back to the party life. I didn't go back. In fact, I was in a relationship. I broke that off. I ended up moving to the desert for about a year to just really detox from people and just like the party scene, even the FOMOs. It's like, it's Friday night, everybody's out and I'm not kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I needed to reset.
Yeah. Get good with yourself.
Yeah.
Before you go. Yeah. There are a whole bunch of sayings around that.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, I mean, spending a year in the desert was the best. Like desert sunrises, desert sunsets.
Dude, it's amazing.
You see the stars. For me, it was in Sky Valley, which is like about in the Coachella Valley.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like Road. Indio and.
Yeah. So that's why. So I spent a year out there in Sky Valley and it was the best. It was really what I needed to recenter myself. It's almost like, I wish like I could like take a sabbatical off and just kind of do that and recenter myself. But I'm grateful that at least at that time in my life, I had my family supporting my sobriety.
Totally
excited that I was changing my life and their support and me desiring to just like, okay, I have the second chance, but what do you do with it?
Yeah.
You know? And so for me, like,
that's my question.
Yeah. So that year became like an incubation kind of like stage of my life where music kind of re-entered my life. The love for arts and design and all that re-entered my life. And even though like, I mean, I've been a designer since the first version of Photoshop.
Nice.
Yeah. Like I remember when Photoshop didn't have layers.
Ooh, I don't know if I do.
Version 1 didn't have layers.
That seems so fundamental at this point. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. When I look at even like the AI tools of like being able to eliminate a subject from a picture, I was like, that used to take us 2 hours.
Yeah. Now you can do it on a free app online.
You can just hold down your phone on a subject and it'll cut him out. And it's like, that used to take us 2 hours.
Yeah. We've come a little ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in being able to get away, I was able to kind of tap into sides of me that I had lost touch with. Because as a kid and as a young teenager, I was very artistic. I mean, I started playing drums at age 5. Not a lot of people can say that they were self-taught the piano at age 12. And I was just bored, inquisitive, and
it's weird
being a pastor's kid, you're always at church. So it's like all the kids were so much older than me and everything. So it's like, to me, like I always gravitated to the instruments, to music. I was like hanging out with older people too. So like if there was somebody that could teach me something, like, yeah, show me this, you know? And so it allowed me to really get back into music. And that really, even kind of going back to something that you brought up, flow state.
Yeah.
For me, like
big time with music.
Dude, I would pick up an acoustic or a piano and man, I can just get lost and just connect with like people have different words for God.
Yes.
Some people will even say he or she, they. I like to refer to him as a creator, because it's like the creator presents a different conversation where it's like you don't need to necessarily subscribe to Judaism or Christendom or anything like that. But there's so much things in nature, starting with the Fibonacci sequence.
Fibonacci, yep.
Like when you just look at that for a moment,
Oh, it's beautiful.
you're like, that is a signature of a designer, of a creator.
I like it. I
You
thought
know?
about that.
And so that where it's like how like our bodies are designed to regenerate itself every 7 years. How like vegetation is also meant to rotate every 7 years. A fun fact that I learned in coffee, visiting coffee farms, a coffee tree renders fruit for 7 years. Then from there, you got to split it. It turns into 2 trees. And then from there, you cut it down. And
no
then
idea.
you let the land rest a year. And then you start over.
That's cool.
And it's crop rotation. And
It
so
is.
you see these constant patterns in all these things. And so for me, it was like being able to tap back into the creator.
It feels like a consistency in design.
Yeah.
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 A couple of my friends talk about it as, well, as a designer or the architect, or some of the other folks call it source or spirit. I tend more toward that architect side. And I have my own reasons for that, probably. Systems are my thing. So why not?
Of course.
But yeah, systems, ecosystems, data sets, whatever. To me, it's all those patterns. And you're describing finding patterns, which we, as humans, we are good at. We're very good at it.
Yeah. And I think that is the gift that I think the architect or the creator gave us.
Yeah.
The desire to want to know. In fact, there's a verse in the book of Proverbs. There's a version of the Bible. There's many versions of, like, as far as modern translations. One of the ones that are actually pretty cool to read is called The Message, because it's in very contemporary language. And I don't remember what Proverbs, I think I want to say 10, but the proverb basically says, God delights in the discoveries of the scientist.
Nice.
And what that to me says is that, like, we want to create this argument of faith versus science.
Which always blows me away.
Yeah, which is like, actually, you need to have faith to believe in science. Like, you need
to an extent, right?
Yeah, to a degree requires some sort of faith.
Because it always feels to me, and not everybody agrees, but it always feels to me like what scientists are doing is trying to figure out how this all came to pass, or how it all works.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that we're following the plans or the blueprints, or figuring out how the creator put this all together. And it's helping us slowly, step by step, generation by generation, start to put together what the hell it is we're doing here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's this wonderful exploration of this reality that we have just the barest of capacities to understand.
And I think you and I are in this very unique generation where we remember the world before the internet and then after the internet.
Xennials, let's go.
Yeah. And so it's like our generation is like, we've been able to see the evolution of it, where it's like, it sometimes it feels like we're maybe out of touch, or we're maybe behind the curve a little bit.
I don't TikTok very much. I get it.
Yeah, but then at the same time, we also know the broader picture.
Yeah.
We've also remember what it is to rewind a VHS tape.
Yeah.
Remember what it was like to, like, buying that, like, your favorite CD, and you played it till it scratched the hell out of it, and then you had to go buy another one.
Recording the radio songs on your little cassette player, and then sometimes you might record the same song twice with a 30-second overlap, and now you have an extended version of it, and that's your intro to music ending. Like, that was my childhood, and running around in the woods like an idiot, because there's nothing. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Watch TV on a 6-inch black and white nonsense?
I'm so glad that my generation still rode bikes and played, like, out till, like, it's during summer, especially, like, it is hot as balls out here in the summer. So it's like,
people pretend it's hotter here. It's hot out here.
Yeah.
Like,
And so, so I think our generation is really going to get to see, like, how the internet affected culture, humanity, society. And I just cross my fingers that it's for the good. I mean, especially in the kind of world that we live in, where perception is everything, that I hope that we're able to restore our place in not necessarily being number one, and I say that in quotation marks, of the world, but at least not be buffoons to the world. But I think I think sometimes even as Americans, we don't know, sometimes we don't really actually are mindful of how the rest of the world sees us. So like,
I guess another way of looking at that is at least the rest of the world sees us.
yeah,
I know a lot of people from a lot of countries where the world doesn't know they're there.
right.
I don't know which is worse or which is better.
Yeah, it's interesting because I have both realities.
Yeah.
Like, for
That's
example,
right.
like most folks don't know where Nicaragua is.
Yeah.
And so when they look confused, I was like, you know that little G string that holds the Americas together? Right there.
Y'all are right by Panama,
That little,
right?
the taint of the Americas.
Nice. The taint. Could have been worse. Could have been the asshole.
Yeah, so it's like, so even like, I even remember even traveling abroad, like in 2002, 2003, 2004, post 9/11, where somehow we're in war with Iraq, but it was Osama bin Laden. And I remember when people would ask me like, oh, where are you from? Nicaragua. Nicaragua. You were so embarrassed to say you're from the States. Then now even more.
Yeah, I just own it. Whatever.
Yeah. The cool thing is though, is when you travel the world and you like people say, where are you from? Los Angeles. Oh my God. LA has a cool factor.
LA's got its
American
cachet.
though still has a little bit of sting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Although think about it, like saying you're from LA, that's like saying you're from, okay, I'm putting out airs here, but that's like saying you're from Paris or from London.
Yeah.
Like it's got, maybe it's not the same panache to it, but it's the same.
To the world it does.
Yeah.
To the world it does. I mean, if you ask someone that lives in Paris, France, they're like,
They'll be like, ooh, LA, that's awesome.
yeah. It's like, the Eiffel Tower's not even that big. It's like,
That's really not that big.
yeah, it's so.
Yeah. We got a sign.
Yeah. Like, meanwhile, like, for example, there was a car chase about a month ago that ended right at the Santa Monica Pier. Like, the dude gave himself up, like, right on the arches of the pier. And, like, imagine all those tourists that had their best Grand Theft Auto experience right there. And it's
that's
only
funny.
3 miles that way, dude.
Yeah.
It's just 3 miles that way. And so that reminds me, it's like, no, we live in a destination.
That is only 3 miles that way. You're right. I just walked that the other day.
We live in a destination.
We kind of do.
Yeah.
LA's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like, I have a love-hate to it. And it's that,
For
like,
sure.
like I wish it was more affordable. I wish it was a little cleaner.
I wish it was more affordable, for sure. I wish it was easier to get around. Like,
Yeah.
we need some mass transit here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, it's a half an hour to get to the 405, and it's a half a mile that way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, no. I mean, the West Side is the best place to live if you have to take meetings and stuff, because you can get out of here and then come back when everyone's trying to get out of here.
Like, I can get down to Santa Monica. If
Yeah.
I got to take a meeting, I got a meeting next week that I'm going to take down there. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if I had to get down to Culver or a beach city, then sorry, I'll
Yeah.
see you at the weekend.
Yeah, no, it's got to be early in the morning or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I have to take a meeting in downtown, it's going to be at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, earliest.
Yeah, that way I can get back in time.
Yeah, but you're still screwed getting back
Yeah.
through lunch, so whatever. Just spend your day down there. Too
Yeah.
bad Modern Times is closed. Like,
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, it's the fun part of LA. And I'm grateful for that, despite what we're going through.
it's a weird time, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, and nobody knows it. It's so confusing. But my cousin and I, we were talking about this because I think we're finally going to put some legs to a project that I've been wanting to do. Whereas I've been using our house blend 405 as a bench test.
I like that you just call it the 405. For the audience, could you say what the full name of
It's
it
called
is?
Fuck the 405.
Yeah, all right. Appropriate for this conversation.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's called Fuck the 405, and the funny thing is, it's not even a blend; it's a single origin.
Okay, I didn't know
but
that.
blends are fun to name.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to get into that. Okay, so now it's going to be a low elevation Colombia. Now it's going to be a chocolate forward Nicaragua. Now it's going to be a chocolate forward Brazil. I look for coffees that have similar profiles
Right on.
that fall within the same line. And that's really like the job of a green buyer. And so, but it's also been as a bench test to see that the reality is that, as we were talking about earlier, most folks like a little milk or a little sugar, a little something with their coffee.
And y'all put me back on that, by the way.
Which is as long as it's the good stuff, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with a little sugar as long as it doesn't have all those extra things that end with XIOD and IOMs and Z's and all that stuff. But going back to the point I was making, hold on.
Little project.
Yes, yeah. Where we were talking, and my cousin, he's also a former musician. Like we used to jam out together. We used to his band and my band used to go like do like shows together and stuff like that. And I mean, we've always been very close. We've always stayed in touch. And so now we're venturing to business, and he's been heavily involved in logistics like on a nationwide level and global level. And so he's like, I think I'm finally, he's like, that project that you've talked about, he's like, I think I figured out a solution, because I'm looking at all these brands that have kind of built off of being kind of like a third party vendor, like, and supplying a demand, like, for example, like peptides or something like that. He's like, I think that we're going to go back as we enter this recession, going to go back into COVID days where we start hoarding and doing stuff more at home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I agree with you. And I'm like, this is where I think we need to really put legs on this project of taking the coffee that we use, where we've branded it at Good People as Fuck the 405, and just create a bunch of different fun brands
Absolutely.
that kind of fall along the same parameters, but to different demographics. And we use the same coffee, but each one of them has their own online presence. And so it's like, because of the internet now, rather than having 5 locations, I can create 5 store brands, 5 Amazon stores, 5 Instagram handles, 5 websites, 5 completely different looks that all have the same vibe that Fuck the 405 and Good People has, but now it's a different demographic.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could even do one that's like, as a designer, like, man, you give me, if this project has legs, we could do something that's so pro-Trump, and there's going to be a market for that.
Yeah.
You could do something that's going to be anti-Trump.
Yeah.
There's going to be a market for that.
Turns out.
You can come up with the blend that I'm like still rocking my Tesla.
I
and
wonder
something
which
like
one's
that.
going to sell better in LA. I'm just
You'd
kind
be
of
surprised. It would be a fun.
It's funny.
It would be funny to take a.
I feel like the
analytics
city is
after.
more
Yeah.
split than people believe.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Like you get some funny conversations that you don't expect.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And especially now, it's like almost like sometimes guys will like say some remarks to me, and I'm like, oh, you read me wrong. You think I'm a
Yeah.
locker room bro? It's like, nah, we don't talk like that no more, my man.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. I
It's
gotta go.
Yeah. It reminds me of the episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Adam's like, you just said a lot of words. And then he does a half circle, kind of walks away. It's like, I don't even, like, where do I start dissecting the statement and the political incorrectness of it? But it's interesting to see, but I saw it happen even during his first run, because I would travel to the Midwest a lot in 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
I remember at one point, even in 2019, I was in a small town in Ohio, and I was with an Asian friend of mine, and we were basically doing consulting and stuff like that in coffee. And we popped in a knockoff of Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was Saturday night. We wanted to catch.
I'm trying to think what this knockoff would have been. Sorry, the Ohio is showing up.
It's a
Like Quaker Steak and Lube.
Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of closer towards Indiana.
Yeah, I'm not as good at the west side.
So, but anyways, so we just wanted to catch the tail end of the UFC card.
Oh,
And so we sit at the bar, and then it's pretty empty. There's a group of about 6 or 7 good old boys on the end corner. So we just sit on the other side, just kind of order our food, grab a lager each, and then I go to the restroom, and then all of a sudden 2 guys from that group walk in, and they're like, and then I was like, hey, how's it going? And they're like, good. Where are you from? I'm like, oh, I was just Los Angeles. He's like, you're pretty far from LA. I was like, yeah.
These conversations happen?
Yeah.
Holy
2019.
cow.
2019. And I was like, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, we were in Fort Wayne, and we were driving through. We had been at Mod Bar, which is an espresso machine company that no longer exists, but they actually got bought out by La Marzocco. Then from there, we were going to go into Columbus, where there's a lot of roasters, and start doing, and so just kind of a quick pit stop. And so yeah, we're headed to Columbus. He's like, when are you headed to Columbus? I was like, tomorrow. He's like, huh. And then he's like, how long you and your friend hanging out tonight? I was like, is everything okay? And then he's like, we don't like you guys. You should close up your tab.
Wow.
Huh? Huh?
Wow.
Huh? This is already Trump's America in 2019.
Wow.
No stranger to it. I mean, that there is a reality that it is not easy to be brown in LA, especially in West LA. Oh yeah.
Okay. I can have that sort of really response because I don't I'm going to have a lot of this on
Yeah,
upcoming
no,
episodes
yeah.
as well. But like, do people realize they're in LA? Like,
No,
Like
especially around here, for the most part, people are living in their own bubble and living in their own reality. You ever just hang out at a restaurant, overhear conversations, and hear how vapid they are?
yeah, it is kind of vapid.
Yeah, you like
I
how.
try not to be judgy here, but yeah, some of it's pretty
I
vapid.
mean, sometimes you can't help it. Like my wife and I will go out to dinner, and sometimes we're talking, and we just hear, like, can't help it, overhear a conversation on the side, and you're like, and then you hear the common LA accent, and then you hear that, and then
Are you hating on the Valley?
I wish. No, it's just like this kind of like weird new LA kind of talking. Like everybody's just, and it kind of hovers
Everything
around
ends
this
in an
area.
uptone.
Yeah, kind of
like-
a little bit that, and it's like, and then we're gonna go like, I don't know, like it wasn't that great at Aspen this year, and it's like, and all this stuff,
Oh.
and you hear conversations like that all like around a lot, and then
I
like,
go to the wrong places, man.
and like I unfortunately hear a lot of this stuff, and you're like, wow, you really are very disconnected to reality.
Yeah.
Even being a coffee shop owner in West L.A. for me has been one of the biggest badges of honor that I have felt from being a
Right on.
son of two immigrant parents,
Right.
hardworking. It's not like they wanted to come to this country. They came to this country because our country went through a civil war.
Something about the Sandinistas,
Yeah.
Ortega.
And so like
Pretty friggin' dark time.
yeah. I mean, my parents lost everything. Like it's
Yeah.
like, it would be like when China takes over the United States, and then all of a sudden every currency with Benjamin Franklin's face is no longer legal.
My wife's
Currency.
family fleeing the fall of Saigon.
Yeah.
Same fucking deal.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's happened around the world. And for us to have been able to come to this country, rebuild, my dad be able to really go from being like this, like his reality, like he had no reality, no job, no work permit, and he had to sell Coke, and it was just to feed his family. And he was slanging Coke in Pico and Union in 1979 till about 1983, maybe 84,
Damn.
until the feds start getting on him, and my mom was like, we're getting out of this. We have a family now.
That's right.
You need to get out of this
That's
game
right.
fast. And that's when my dad, he got out, he sold everything and moved to San Bernardino. It was still like back in the days enough where you could move
still
60 miles
reinvent.
away and you could restart your life.
Yeah.
And thankfully he did.
I feel like you still possibly could.
And yeah, I think you can. I mean, you
I
might have
don't
to
know.
start a new Instagram and Facebook, but
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
yeah, but
LinkedIn's going to follow you, though.
yeah.
Like,
Or you're just like, wait, you have no social media? That's
Yeah.
weird. I'm like, no, I don't have time for it. It's like,
I'm busy.
yeah, it's like, no, I have a real life.
Yeah.
That's social. So
Yeah. But he was
But-
able to start back over
Oh, yeah,
in
he-
San Bernardino.
100%. And I think he had a similar kind of life experience that I did.
Yeah.
I think his was really more of like, I need to do this for my family.
Yeah.
Because by then it was already my sister and I. I was already like 4 years old. My sister was 2.5. My mom was starting to leave him. I remember we actually moved. We were hiding from my dad for a while in Miami with some of my mom's family. And then my dad found us. But he had promised like, hey, I'm going to change. I'm going to clean up. I'm going to do all this. He checked himself into rehab and all that. And
Dude, good for him.
yeah, he worked it. And then from there, like, man, white knuckled it. Like, I mean, it's been, I said, I'm 45. It's been 40 plus years. And,
41, yeah.
he hasn't had a drink of alcohol. He hasn't done any drugs. He's really just lived.
He owned it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough for him at first. Like for him, I think that's where faith kind of became this weird way of punishment and stuff like that. He definitely did not spare the rod.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. I've heard you describe it as such. And it's,
Yeah.
but I kind of get it.
Yeah. And I think that looking back now, I empathize with him, and I feel sorry for him, because a lot of that abuse happened when I was since the age of 4 until I was about 16.
Okay.
When I reflect back now, he had me at 28. So a lot of this happened when he was 32. Like, yeah, I was a bit of a hothead back then. I would have not known how to handle this. I mean, I don't think I would have been capable of hitting a child, but looking back at how his upbringing was, the strict Catholic schools that he was forced to go to, that for him, discipline equaled religion, equaled like, I don't want him to end up the way I did.
Yeah.
And I know that it came from a good place. It was just done incorrectly.
Yeah. And it's, to your point, that was his experience of reality in life.
Of course.
Like that was the only way he understood how to differentiate between the options.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
I'm sort of thinking through what you're saying.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's, I mean, looking at it from the clinical perspective, I was a victim. There was abuse. It did happen.
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of love in our home.
Because there is more than the clinical
Yeah.
perspective. There's
Of
the
course.
human perspective.
Yeah. Like my dad always made sure I never came home to like the lights off, the gas, an eviction notice, seeing a car being repossessed. Like I never had a day where like, we're not having dinner today. There's nothing to eat. Like however my dad had to do to make money, he would do it. Like even when he stopped selling drugs, like his first job was working at a gas station. Then within a year, he ended up buying a gas station. So like his mentality was always like, okay, I can't be stagnant here. I gotta take to the next step. I gotta take it to the next step. I gotta take it to the next step. And so classic example of our relationship, we're so opposite, but we insanely love each other that when I presented him the idea that I was going to purchase Good People, and I mean, the sale price was only $60,000. So because really, like when you look at it now, and
I was like, that was only 60 grand?
Well, when you look at it now, you're like, holy shit, that's 60. Well, no, I've definitely given that equity.
100%. Yeah.
When the coffee shop first started, it was just a little walkway that the customer side that and that's all we had.
Yeah.
That's only 297 square feet.
I mean, that's pretty much, although I love that back area. Anyway.
It used to be a parking lot. Like abandoned cars all the time, people shooting up all the time, constantly like people passed out from like the bars and stuff like that, just would sleep there and in their cars and stuff like that. And so it wasn't until the pandemic and really us having like the foresight that in January of 2020, me and my friends built the concrete bar and created that walkthrough experience. And we built our first version of the patio. And our first version of the patio was literally, we were given 2 parking spaces for there. So then from there, we rented a 3rd parking space from Sasaya, the Japanese bar, to put our small container. And that was our very first satellite storage because we just had no space in there. Like that place is really just like a front of house, a counter. That's it. Like everything is, as you saw today, it's all in the back.
You know, kitchen, all that.
It's all in the back. So think back then we didn't have any of that. You know, again, the place only had about 20 regulars. Most of them were AA. Yeah. The sales for that place in 2017, I think were only like $92,000
for the whole year.
Yeah.
And that's paying the whole, well, at that point it was you and 3 other dudes.
Well, that was because like when I was talking with the owner, in fact, a lot of our business conversations in the purchase were done at Cafe 50s.
Got it. Walk by that place every day.
We'd go by Cafe 50s. We'd go to Cafe 50s, have breakfast and kind of chop it up. And then I'd be like, Cody, I mean, like I'm up for buying this, but like, you mind sharing me some of your numbers? What do your sales look like?
You got to be able to pencil
give me an
out.
idea to come up with like a business model for it. And I saw the potential of it. I definitely did. But I remember presenting it to my dad, and my dad's a business guy. He's a numbers guy. And he's like, he looked at it, he's like, no, you're going to waste your money. You're going to waste your time. You're going to waste your energy. I was like, no, Dad, like this place has bones and this neighborhood has potential. It's growing.
Sawtelle's legit.
In 2017, you could say that about maybe Sawtelle Boulevard, but even where we're at wasn't even recognized as Sawtelle. It's only been recognized as Sawtelle over the last maybe 3 years.
Yeah, I had never heard of it as Sawtelle prior to getting here this time.
Yep. Yeah. It kind of happened post-pandemic.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was like, no, Dad, I was like, you really got to come down to this place to take a look at it. And I showed him all the pictures. Yeah. I showed him the numbers. I showed him what my projections are. I'm like, I think that with my strategy and this, I think the shop can make at least 200,000.
Yeah.
By in the end of the year. He's like, no, I don't see it happening. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm like, trust me. I was like, I've been working coffee here in West L.A. now for 7 years. Yeah. I know the way people consume. I see it. By this time, I had already gone to Australia 2 times to do training, to do education. Like, I realized how ahead Australia was from L.A. and like every idea that I was bringing back from over there, how well they were doing. And it's like, it was really hard to like explain that to him because like his perspective of a coffee shop was just Starbucks.
That's
and
right.
So when he's trying to chime in, like, it's like, listen, I need a silent partner. Like, I've already done the legwork. I'm like,
You said that to your old man. I love it.
I'm like, if you're going to do this with me, I need you to be a silent partner.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm like, I'm the one that has been for the last 7 years, washing dishes,
Grinding.
waking up at 4 a.m, doing doubles and learning this industry. And he got so angry that I just was like, letting him know, like, listen, trust me, I did my homework. And
How
he's
dare
like,
you be an adult?
Yeah. It's like, he's like, no. He's like, no. I'm like, all right, don't worry about it, then.
Yeah, I
We're
got
good.
this. Yeah.
We're good. He's like, oh, what? So you don't want my money? I was like, no, I don't. And that, and he like the old kind of like
Oh, that's
anger
interesting.
side came out of him. And then I realized, I was like, oh, you've always wanted me to follow your footsteps. And it's
Okay.
always been very obvious. This is the first time I've ventured out completely from the realm that you know. I ventured into a different industry that you don't understand and you don't know, because even while I was a designer, he
kind of got it.
he kind of understood it because he saw the need for it for the church.
Right.
So like I rebranded a lot of his stuff, like kept his website up to date and all that stuff, and all like motion graphics. Oh my God, like churches turned into fucking concerts because of Hillsong. And so like I helped them really upgrade all of like his music program. So he saw like the value of the creativity and things that I did and all that. But this is something he didn't understand, because he didn't understand it. Couldn't weigh in on it. And when he tried to weigh in on it, and I told him, listen, what you're saying is so outdated. And I even used church as a metaphor. Like, this is like you trying to take your church back to before I helped you update. That struck a chord in him. Like, it struck a bad chord for him, mostly because it also reminded him that we don't work together anymore. That I don't volunteer there anymore. I don't church there anymore. I mean, by then there was always comments like, oh yeah, we just haven't had a guitarist like you. We just haven't had a music director like you. We just and
that's him trying to fish to get you back.
And I used to tell him like, but Dad, you got a music director, don't you? He's like, yeah. I was like, well then good. Be grateful. I was like, comparison is a thief of joy.
It is.
I remember telling him one time, and this is when he stopped bringing up, come back and help me with the music at church. It was like, I told him, I was like, Dad, imagine if you kept mentioning your ex-wife to Mom.
Yes.
How would you make her feel?
Terrible.
He's like, shh. I was like, I know what you're saying. You want to compliment me.
Yeah.
I understand that you're telling me that. I'm like, but you got to remember that books have chapters. And right now, this is somebody else's chapter. And the way you supported me, you need to support them. And
how did
from
that
there,
land?
like, it really hit him that he's like, oh shit, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
He's like, he's on another trajectory already. Like,
Yeah.
like this, like it finally hit him really that I'm not going to go back to possibly living in the same town with him, churching with him and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean that we don't have a relationship.
That's right.
It doesn't mean that we don't have a friendship. And it doesn't mean that we can't have common ground. And after that blowout, we didn't speak for almost a year. And from there, the shop blew up.
Yeah.
I projected 200 and we hit 248. The next year, 416.
You got to get better at your projections. What I'm learning is you're bad at math.
I underestimate myself a lot.
Yeah.
I really do, but I do this because I'm afraid to overpromise.
Absolutely.
And so I would rather, I mentioned this to Abby today.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's always better to be underestimated.
I agree.
Always.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're not wrong. And I'm like,
Oh, she gets it.
Oh yeah, she's done work on herself.
Yeah.
She's really done. When you chat with her, you realize like, oh,
She's on it.
Yeah. She's so mature. And then it was after the first year that my dad like took a step back and realized like, oh shit, he really did this without me completely. Like he did this all on his own and everything.
Was he proud of you?
Yeah, he finally said he was proud of me.
Oh, that's
I mean,
amazing.
he said it in different capacities, but
100%, but this one's
but
got to land
this one
different.
is like, I'm proud of you and you did something on your own.
Yeah.
And it's like coming out of especially if you have a father that casts a big shadow.
Yeah.
Oof. I mean, like, this is how big of a shadow my dad cast over me. His birthday is August 31st and mine is September 1st.
Oh, son of a gun.
My day is literally in the shadow of
You're
it.
like, you couldn't have planned this. There's a poetry to that I absolutely adore.
100%. The kind of relationship we have is like the other day we were talking on the phone and we are trying to meet up and we're so busy then, and that they're getting to the age that I want to do the drive to them rather than them having to drive here.
Yeah.
But then that also, like we were talking about being on the West Side, you have to be mindful when to leave. And so for me, that really means I'm going to take the morning to evening off, but like I'll be at the shop at 6, make sure everything's great. And then we hit the road at 10 a.m. And then we're at their house by 11:30.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Because
For San Bernardino, that's not bad.
Because right there's no traffic. Everything's kind of going north and south, kind of staying within the quadrants of downtown. No one's venturing further down the 10. And then that's where fast track really comes handy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we head over there and typically we'll meet at a restaurant and just kind of catch up. But this time I told him, I was like, no, Dad, I want to come to the house. I was like, I actually want to just hang out with you. I'm like, I feel sometimes when we just meet up for dinner, we just surfacely kind of catch up on things. We're glad to see each other and then
but you don't have the time to go into the deeper elements of the conversation.
I was like, but I'm like, I'd like to spend quality time. He's like, thank you. He's like, thank you. He's like, I agree. He's like, I really miss you. I'm like, I miss you too.
Yeah.
And we did. We spent maybe like 9 hours there. And at one point my mom took a nap. Another point my wife went and took a nap. But him and I were just talking about everything, talking about life, politics, the tariffs, talking about the shifts, just a conversation like we're having right now.
Yeah.
Really just like just two grown men and me really just like, hey, Dad, how did you manage when this and this? How did you manage this? How did you manage that? Really like, and it's been a lot of putting myself in my dad's shoes at that age and realizing like, even looking back now, I'm 45 and where my dad was at 45, where he was at 45, he was recovering from a heart attack. He was overstressed from the mortgage world. He was contemplating a career change. He was trying to take it easy, working on himself, his body. And I was thinking about that the other night. I was like, wow. I was so grateful that like my problems are nowhere as immense as his were at my age. I'm grateful that my responsibilities are minimal. I'm responsible to my wife. I'm responsible to my community.
Yep.
To my family. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If my wife and I want to pack up and go back to Sydney, we can.
Yeah.
If we want to go to the Philippines, we can. If we want to get up and go, we can. And I realized, I was like, wow, it must have been really tough for him to be in bed, hospitalized, wondering how he's going to take care of his family.
Yeah. At 45.
Yeah. Because I had actually an incident that happened to me on Saturday. I realized I hadn't taken a day off this month where I just didn't sleep in or anything. And after Saturday was like a really long day. And so I go to LA Fitness and I just get in the hot tub to kind of relax. And then all of a sudden my legs cramp up really bad. And if you've ever had cramps like in your saphenous veins up in your thighs, like they're debilitating.
Wild.
They're hard to explain. They're hard to get out. You don't know what to do. So I crawl out of there. I head home. I like start taking a bunch of magnesium. I lay on my stomach so circulation can go downward. My wife takes a massage gun to my sacrum to get some sciatic waves going through there. And I had this feeling like my body's shutting down on me. And this reality, like, if my body shuts down on me, who's going to take care of my family?
Yeah.
And then I was immediately reminded, like, that's how my dad must have felt.
Yeah.
Being hospitalized and wondering, how am I going to get out of this and be able to feed my family? And his reality was different from mine. Because at that time, our home was mom, dad, my sister, myself, my grandpa, which is his dad, my grandma, which is his mom, and then my mom's mom, my grandma. Like, this was a very Hispanic home.
Super multi-generational.
I grew up with my grandmas. Like, my grandpa is the one that taught me how to drive at age 11
so
and
cool.
all that. Like, in my office, I have a picture of me and my grandpa because he was such a big part of my life, my teenage life growing up, because my dad was so busy working that my dad had two moods, busy or angry. And so my grandpa was really good at kind of filtering that for me.
Yeah,
and just saying, like, he used to call me Calaquito, which is kind of like a cute way of calling somebody Carlitos, but Nicaraguan style.
Yeah.
And he's like, understand your dad's going through this, your dad's going through this, and your guys going through, and I think it was his opportunity to like almost even also make amends that he wasn't a great dad.
Sure.
So he got to at least be a good grandpa. And,
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
I'm thinking through the structure and yeah.
Yeah. And so
the multi-generational family dwelling is super valuable for that.
Yeah.
A lot of Americans don't have that opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm so grateful I got to live with both my grandmas. I never met my mother's dad because he passed away when she was 16. And so I know so much of his history. In fact, I was named after him, Carlos. Carlos is my actual name. I just don't like the way people say Carlos. So it's like, ugh.
Do you want me to start? I can like Carlos. Can it didn't feel Midwest enough. Carlos.
Oh, God.
Did I get it?
Almost.
Oh, I'll work on it.
I almost prefer the hood version. Carlos.
Yo, Carlos.
With the soft R.
Carlos. All right. I'll get you this week. All right. Or wait, no, I'll get you next week.
But yeah, I was fortunate to be able to grow up around that and to see the value of that. And I think that's why I value community so much. And even though I don't have children and I don't have like my own family, I have a huge extended family, even in this community.
Oh, for sure.
I'm so blessed that in these 7 years through Good People, I've been able to create an extended family. I have people that care about me. I have people I care about. I have people that I call friends. I've been to my customers' weddings, to their homes. I mean, I'm sitting in your home now.
You're in my apartment right now, bro. Yeah.
And so it's like, and it's never felt like weird or contrived because I've always treated my shop like an extension of my home and welcome you like I would welcome you in my home. So because that's one of the things that I always saw my dad do. If there was somebody like, let's say, that came to church that had just come from Mexico, had nowhere to live, my dad fixed up the garage and kind of turned it into a studio so that
people could do that.
It was a crash pad for someone. They needed to stay there for a while. And seeing him do that and always seeing himself extend himself to help people. I mean, even to this day, he's 75 years old, still very active, still pastoring, still very much involved in the community. He still does his job, so to speak, is really going to visit people at the hospital, go visit people at their homes, like literally doing clergy duties.
Literal.
Yeah, literal clergy duties, not living righteous gemstone lifestyle. It's like, I'm grateful to say that my folks are they're
living it.
Like they're humble pastors that live super transparent lives. Like they're the kind of people that you go to their church and like financial records of the month are always posted.
Good.
They've always been very big about making sure that folks never felt like that the church was like a tool or a place for them of commerce, but church is church. Because my dad also always thrived in business. And so sometimes the optics of those two can get very muddied. And so he always
mentioned the gemstones.
Yeah, so he always made it a point really to like, not only to not live from the church, but to be one of the biggest financial supporters of the church.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so even like he would tithe from his own to the church, because to him it wasn't going to his pocket, it was going to the church. And so from there it's like I mean, even though it's a small modest church, I mean it's got like 300 members, it's not that small,
it's
a pretty modest church. But as far as resources and connections with like the city for help and stuff like that, they're very limited. But they make it work, they make it happen, they feed people, they take care of people, they house people. And it's like, and I look back and I'm like, I'm grateful that those lessons that I saw, like I still get to flesh them out. But
you're kind of living it out in real time.
Yeah, they look different now. It just looks over a cup of coffee instead of maybe over a conversation about the Book of John,
right. Weirdly not so different.
It's not going to be in a fellowship hall. It's going to be in an outdoor patio.
Right.
But it's still the idea of fellowship. It's still the idea of community. It's still the idea of getting to know your surroundings. And it's like, this is one of the things that like we focus on making unique about Good People, is not to pander or placate or market to a demographic.
Right.
Serve a community. Those are two very different perspectives.
And people show up.
And when you're just here to serve, that's what happens. Like, I mean, that's the crew. Like when we chat, it's a conversation like this. We're not going to talk about your resume. You already sent it to me.
Yeah.
I read it.
Yeah.
That's why we're talking. It's like, now I want to get to know the individual.
Yeah.
And so, because I want to know if this individual is going to have a good time here or not. Because if you have the type of attitude that I see, you're going to have a good time here, then you're going to have
Yeah,
a
we're
good time here. Yeah. And so, and that, like, I remind him because I think that following the footsteps.
Yeah. I've been
And
thinking about that as we've been talking. Yeah.
And I tell him, I'm like, don't assume that because we're not doing the church stuff together anymore, that we're not doing that kind of stuff, work together, that it doesn't mean that what you wanted for me in life isn't happening. It's just happening in a different community, and it's happening in a different way. And I'm able to do it without the banner of church or evangelical Christian or any faith, but literally just serving people with love, with compassion, and making sure that doesn't start with the customer. That starts in-house. It starts within the team. It starts within the service amongst the team. Even just like my neighbor, Nick, just got a promotion and he's so stressed out because he's going to be running a team and he hates being a leader. I was like, I've been in the position of leadership for a long time in my life. And I can tell you, man, the best advice I can tell you is tell your team this. Listen, I'm going to fuck up and so will you. And I'm not here to figure out who did it wrong. We're here just to push it forward and get better.
That's right.
So please hold me accountable so that I can be the best leader for you.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're willing to have that type of statement with no ego to your team, you're off to being a good leader. And then find someone who's a stickler to be the delegator of procedures and operations.
Because someone's got to hold that down. Someone's definitely got to hold that down.
I was like, find yourself that one person that's dying to be your assistant, because in the group, there is always that one person.
There has to be.
Yep.
Yeah, and sometimes somebody's going to have to step up.
Yep.
Like, because someone's going to get irritated enough that it's got to be done.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the way you pulled back together following in your father's footsteps, because as you were describing all of this, I was like, I don't want to be the one to tell him.
Yeah.
But I think you did.
Oh, no, I'm 100% mindful of it.
Yeah.
And if anything, we talk about it. And I remind him so that he doesn't feel that he L'd it in something. Even in the upbringing, I tell him, I'm like, you made me strong. Like you made me resilient. Like Dad, whatever issues were around me growing up at least made me strong enough for real life. Because I know so many adults that are not equipped for real life.
Oh yeah.
Have never had to deal with adversity, have never had to deal with struggle, have never had to deal with confrontation, have never even had to deal with getting punched in the face or anything like that. It's
wild to me how few people have been punched in our generation.
Yeah. And so it's just like, it's prepared me. I mean, the amount of times where I've had to deal with like an out of control drug addict that like just wanders around, wanders into the shop, or assaults a customer. Christmas Day, I had to some dude just swatted a cup of coffee out of a customer's hand while he was sitting in the pink tables in the front.
Yeah.
And then as I was coming out, I was like, what are you doing, man? And then when he sees me, he throws a punch. I ducked, jumped on his back, threw a rear naked choke.
Yeah.
Brought him down to the floor. He starts tapping out. I was like, sorry, player, this ain't UFC.
Yeah.
You just assaulted somebody. And then
we're holding you down for a second.
David runs out. He's like, what do you need me to do? I was like, call 911, bro. We ain't going to jump him. Like,
yeah.
Like, he's fine. It's like,
I like that that's David's instinct. Like, I like that.
He's like, I'm like, call 911, dude. He's like, calls 911. And then from there, I finally get his wrist. Then I put him in a wrist lock. Then he starts calling me all kinds of names.
Sure.
So the more races the names, the harder I pull up. I'm like, hey, watch your words, brother. Watch your words. I got your shoulder here. And so then from there, actually, Officer Morgan, which I know from the Butler station, pulls up. I was like, hey, what's up, bro? He's like, good job, Chuck. He I have his wrist. He takes over from where I take over. I get up. They take on, give him my statement, call it a day. And they're like, thanks, bro. High fives.
Too funny.
And it's just like, even if you would have told me 25 years ago, this type of relationship I would have with the LAPD.
Never.
No. That one of my favorite customers is a lieutenant and we go to dinner.
Yeah.
You know, it's no way.
Yeah.
No way. But it's what community has given me.
Yeah.
And it's so I look now and I realize like I'm a sheepdog. My instinct when I see something like that is I have no issues with conflict. It can get physical and I won't get emotional.
Yeah.
I can be very strategic and surgical. And so I use that not in the way that I would have done it in my past, not in the way that I saw it in my upbringing, but I do it when it's time to protect my community. And even sometimes when it has to protect my community from itself. And because that person is also part of the community.
I was going to say,
And when there's reasoning allowed, then I can get to know their stories. Like Henry, you'll never see a beer can in his hand.
I believe that.
If you think about it,
Dude, I saw him stretching yesterday. I
yeah,
was like, that
but
dude's
you will
got
never
it.
see him consume alcohol.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll see him smoke a little weed. That's it.
Sure.
But that's about it. You'll never see him belligerent. You'll never see him mean. You will never see him doing other things. The man is just trying to exist.
Yeah.
And so, and he's part of the community too.
Agreed.
And so, in looking back now, it's just like, oh man, like, man, I'm doing what dad set out to do. But like I can remind him that like, at the end of the day, even if you subscribe to the stories of the Bible and all that stuff, there are two characters that definitely stand out that I think there needs to be more of, and Joseph and Daniel. And these are two characters that were in Hebrew stories, but that had to live outside of Israel, outside of their communities, and still had to uphold their belief system, their foundations, their faith and all that stuff. And their stories play out in positive ways.
Yeah.
And I think that those stories, whether they're fictional or fact, still highlight that being good isn't just when you go to a building, when you go to a structure, when you go to a meditation meeting, or when you go to a retreat or anything like that. Being good is when you got a Karen yelling at you, and there's a line out the door, and you're like, she's just having a bad day.
No, we're not doing this. Yeah.
And it's just like realizing that, like, even though you're lashing out towards me, it's not at me.
Yeah.
Because I've already rectified what's got you upset.
I was even going to say, you've recognized her humanity.
Yeah. And so it's like, you just need to unload, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that is what I got to share with myself. Sometimes that's what love looks like.
Yeah.
Like, just, it probably made her feel better. She probably needed to let it out. There's a blessing that we have of being so close to the ocean.
Oh,
that if you just go out there at night, man, you can just scream and cry at the ocean, and you know what? And it's just going to roar back at you.
It is.
And it's so relieving.
Man, I haven't done a night ocean deal in a minute.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Dude,
I think I'm heading out to Venice,
the Venice
after
Pier.
this. Yeah.
Will Rogers has a bunch of little piers, little cements, and you just stare at the ocean at night.
Yeah.
You realize how small you are. You realize how insignificant
teeny
and
tiny.
the huge scale of existence
Who
are.
gets it? Surfers get it. Those folks get it.
Yeah. So it's in I guess, to like put a nice bow on this. It's like, coffee's the conduit, and being knowledgeable in your industry is 100% essential because it'll attract community. But fostering the community the right way and being there for the community, they're not just words. Like we have receipts. Like when 2020 got bad, we have pictures where we boarded up most of the buildings for the businesses because, like, one of them, it's a bunch of older Asian ladies that have a nail shop. How are they going to board it up?
Yeah.
The business next to us was already abandoned. Who was going to board it up?
Yeah.
Like, I had to board it up because it's like, once they break in there, then it's easy to break into ours. Okay. And we already had a break in 2020. So it was like, we were trying to get ahead of all of this. And so we've been able to show over the years that our intentions have always been the same: to serve the community the best that we can. And if our resources grow through that process, then our ability to offer more to the community will be the end result of that. Other than that, like, I'm not really interested in doing anything else within my industry of coffee. I just, like, where I see the future is like, I want to start this same kind of vibe, but like, let's say somewhere in Texas, somewhere in New York, find a ragtag of misfits that need to be loved on and that are misunderstood and need a second and third and fourth and fifth chance.
Yep.
Like, I got some staffers that if I applied the write-up rule, they'd be gone. But you know what? We love them so much that it's just like, we forgive you.
Dude, there's this weird element where we've set things up so that we structure our lives. We sort of put everybody in these little cubicles of our expectations of who they are and where they're going to be. And part of what you're describing in terms of community with good people is sort of pulling it all down and saying, hey, we're all family.
Yeah.
Like, let's forget about, I know we all go home at the end of the day, but we're all still together. Like, own that, enjoy that, and remember that, hey, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Yeah. The Larry David thing. Fuck you and I'll see you tomorrow.
Very much so.
It's exactly that. Yeah.
Very much so. And there's funny because there's like a couple characters in the neighborhood that don't like good people, don't like me. They just have their reasons.
That's true. Yeah.
And I run into them, and like we cross the street, and I just like look, and I just they want to look at me, and I know they're seeing. I'm just looking, I just give them a smile.
They're
like,
struggling with it, and you're
yeah.
like, all right, what's up, bro?
Yeah. It's just like Tommy, for example, one of the owners of Bonsai.
Okay.
He moved at the apartments over on Barrington and Santa Monica, so now he has to walk up and pass through Good People when he goes to work every day.
Yeah.
And half the time he'll find me out there like chatting it up with customers and stuff like that. Oh, hey, Tommy, what's up, dude? And when I see him, it's a genuine reaction. Hey, Tommy, like, I'm glad to see him. Like, I don't have any ill will towards him. I don't see him as a competition or anything like that. In fact, if anything, like I was sharing with my wife, I was like, babe, if we look at the numbers from 23 and 24 and the projections that we're going now in 25, like this new coffee shop hasn't affected us at all. If anything, this tells me that the market share is getting bigger.
That's right.
And so that means that there's more to go out. And so if anything, this probably would have either gone to Starbucks, maybe some of it would have gone to us. We can't just assume that like all of them would have gone here. Like there's so much other options. Even since I've opened, there's been Federal Coffee, Alfred's, Chit Chat, LA Prime, 10 Speed, Starbucks on Cotner, Bonsai, Belen's Cafe.
Yep. Yeah, I think they were one of the first ones I stopped at.
And Board House was already around.
Board House, yeah. You named 2 of the 3 that I went to before I found y'all.
Yeah. Board House was around before. When I met the owners there, they were the second owners. And then Emil's is this little more, it's a coffee shop too, but they do more like quiches, pies. And I actually met the owner before she sold it. She sold it during the pandemic, and they just kind of kept the new owner kept everything the same. But there was no real like specialty coffee. But as the years have happened, I was like, no, like, it's just the neighborhood is more saturated. Like the market share is just bigger. That's it. It's like, they're not a competition. They're just another coffee shop. Like it's like, I was like, take a step back and look at what if we owned a sushi restaurant? We'd be like, this is like, it's that little.
Wouldn't want to do that.
There's like 3 sushi restaurants.
Wouldn't want to do that.
Restaurants.
Yeah.
And it's like you go down Sawtell, it's like ramen, crepes, ramen.
I've been to most of those ramen shops.
Yeah.
They're all pretty good, but they're different days of the week for me.
I say like that's Ramen Boulevard. Like you're gonna find the best ramen in the West Coast.
Dead ass correct.
Yeah.
On what was it? Killer Sujita.
Oh yeah,
or something like that. That Tokyo killer noodle.
You did the no broth?
I did the no broth for the Tokyo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's a very unique experience.
Legit.
Yeah.
Like really enjoyed it.
And it's been consistent. They've been open for 8 years.
Okay.
Still as good since day one.
Yeah. Once I realized all that was down there, I was like, oh, my whole stay got way different.
Yeah.
I do a lot of walking now.
Yeah. That's good, man. I'm glad you tried it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate the nod.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's kind of to emphasize it. Like it is part of the community, and it's always going to have its ups and downs. But at the end of the day, it's just like folks that will remember like a birthday, folks that were like telling Dee and I happy anniversary yesterday and things like that. It's like,
oh, I didn't even know. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. And that stuff is nice because it's like, it's nice that they remember. It's nice that they care to know because especially our world is just, they're so busy. Like, I don't expect anybody to remember my birthday or shit like that. Like, no, it's like,
I get it.
It's like, or maybe I'm just not the kind of person that needs that kind of thing. Like my wife and I talk about, I'm like, I don't get people that need to be cheered up. Like, I don't, but I'm just grateful that I can get myself there. You know?
And dude, you've built this really cool community, which really seems to be an extended family. I see it every time I go in there, the customers, the staff, the crew, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we love misfits. We love people that feel like, it's like, because I think we all crave authenticity.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly right.
And one of the things that I made sure that always happened at Good People is that people didn't have to feel like they had to code switch.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Because it's like, I've navigated a corporate world. I've navigated all that stuff, and I've had to do some of the code switching. I mean, even going by Chuck instead of Carlos.
Damn.
You know, that is because of having to code switch. Because when I was sending out my resume, there's a big difference when it comes from Chuck Herrera at Mac.com.
Yeah. Than
Carlos Herrera at Gmail or at Hotmail.
It's funny. I don't know which is worse. The Hotmail might be the bigger, like.
Oh yeah, I was making fun of my
scratch.
Yeah, I was making fun of my wife when she still had a Hotmail. But in Australia, they still use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool. It's like still having an Earthlink email.
Nice. eCopyServe.com over here.
There you go.
Yeah. You know, the numbers. No, I never had that. I was like,
Oh, no, I love that I get to flex to the kids that I have an @mac.com.
that is pretty dope.
Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never had one of those. Yeah. Well, hey, we should probably get you to your next call.
Yeah.
And brother, thank you. I'm so glad we got to make this happen. I'm glad we figured out where to do it.
Yeah, no, I had fun.
Thanks for coming over.
Did you get what you wanted?
100%.
I just hope that this
Is great.
fleshed out the way you hope. Because I'm excited.
I never
about
know.
it, and I know you've been excited
I've
about
been
it.
super excited.
And I've
I
been
never know
listening
how any of these are going to go. I walk in, like we're walking down the
Right.
street, right? I was like, oh, so here's what I think we're going to do. I'm trying to pull together a through line, like talking to all these people. I'm like, yeah, I think this is how it's going to go. Never once has it played out the way I thought it would.
Yeah.
And I think that's for the best.
Yeah, that's part of life.
Because it's this organic conversation, and that's what I care about.
Yeah.
And getting to know people.
And even like, I didn't know I was going to end up, talking so much about my dad, but I realized that it comes from a place right now that I'm going through a season in life where like he got pneumonia again, and he had COVID pneumonia a year ago. But he's not very much, he doesn't get sick very often.
Yeah.
But the pneumonia has been like a thing.
Yeah.
And it's mostly just because he's just an old Hispanic man that refuses to go to doctors. And that's really what it is.
I kind of knew exactly where this was going.
Like, I get annoyed with him because I tell him, Dad, look, I get you. I'm the same way. But you also got to listen to your body.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're not going to the checkups and you need to be in the gym more, you need to be eating cleaner and all this stuff. And like, I help him with that. But he's
75,
He's gonna
dude.
do what he wants.
He knows who he is right now.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. You're already 75. Like, live your best life. Like,
Yeah. If you want an extra slice of bologna on that sandwich?
Yeah,
Go for it.
Yeah, no. Like,
You know what? Fry it up first. Let's go.
It's just funny because my mom's like, don't tell him that. He's like, I'm like, Mom, he's going to go before you. And he's,
Yeah.
But that's how me and my family, we joke around.
It's truth.
We joke around. No,
Yeah.
We've had open conversations where like, all right, if Dad goes first, Mom comes with me.
Yeah.
Because my mom and my sister just
That's not
classic Hispanic, the undercuts and the comments, and it's part of our culture.
Yeah.
It's part of our culture.
Fair.
And she's Daddy's girl. So if Mom goes first, then Dad's going to Texas and then going to go live with her. So we've already split them up.
That's cool.
We've already come to terms with those things but it's very real. Like we've already have like our family trust and all this stuff because we're a small family. And my sister's not married. She doesn't want kids. Yeah. I'm not going to have kids. So my parents are like, are we Hispanics? I'm like, yeah, but you know.
Sorry, that's really good. I didn't think about that. We were talking about the multi-generational households, and it's like, y'all bucked that trend.
This generation.
It just ended.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And it's ending with my sister and I, at the very least on us. Like, I'm sterile. I can't have kids.
Right on.
And my wife doesn't want to have kids. She doesn't want to go through the physical pain of it.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go through all that. She has 7 nieces and nephews. Like we live vicariously through our sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws. My cousin has 3 kids. I vicariously live through him. My
Those are
best
some spoiled
friend
ass
has
kids.
3 kids. I vicariously. I'm a funkle.
Yeah.
I'm a fun uncle, and I love that.
Yeah.
And that's about as far as I get to go. Even my staff, they all need a degree of parental guidance and mentoring. I think I've tried to put parental guidance and mentoring together.
Oh, I caught it. I might use that later. Yeah.
And I realize that even like I get at least those outlets.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's funny because we were having this conversation last night and I asked Dee, I was like, babe, if we could have a kid, like, would you want to? And she's like, I'm like, you don't want to go through those 9 months. She's like, oh, okay. But like, assuming like you didn't have to go through that.
Right.
Like, and she's like, no, I like our life. And I'm like, me too, babes.
That's cool.
And I do. I really do. I don't have those hangups that some guys have. Like, I'm going to leave my legacy. Like, if anything, I joke around with the kids. I was like, one of you guys better get smart because I don't got a kid to fucking leave this shop to.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
now I'm like trying to figure out who's going to get smart.
Yeah, well, we always put it out there. Like our dream is to make Good People an employee-owned company. Yeah, we just want a slice small enough for the years of building the brand and designing the system.
It's real
and
work.
then enough for us to live off. It's like my wife and I, we're not we don't have an extravagant life.
You
or
just
anything like that.
fly off to Sydney for no cause, whatever.
Yeah, but
Okay, bro.
we buy our flights way.
I'm kidding.
Who was our biggest? Who's the biggest Good People investor? Our United business card.
That tracks. I was about to be like, wait, is it me?
Our United business card.
Yeah.
So it's like she's a savvy traveler. I'm a savvy traveler. I'm sure you are too.
I do my best.
And so when, you get to live lives like ours, they're like slightly nomadish. We can always pick up when we want, whenever we feel like it, if the tides look a little weird, let's roll it up. And so
people start buying pitchforks and torches. You're like, yeah, and we're out.
That's a luxury we have.
It is.
And like I was telling my dad, I was like, Dad, I'm like, I know you and Mom always wanted grandkids, but like, look at this world right now.
Yeah.
Like how at peace would you be? He's like, no, I'm very worried for this generation. He's like, I see it at the church year after year. He's like, I'm very worried of how misdirected and misguided and lack of drive, lack of desire to excel this young generation has. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, this was the COVID kids. This was even the crew, half of them, I call it the COVID kids that didn't either have a prom or didn't have classic high school shit that we had. Some of their stories are wild. Like Cindy, COVID hit on Cindy's senior year, and then her school wasn't set up for online. So they're like, all right, everybody just check in with us in September to see if we're set up for online.
Wow.
Meanwhile, like her family is trying to barely make ends meet, and she's got to start working to help support her family.
Okay.
And those are very real realities.
It's very real.
So
and it all gets overlooked.
Yeah. So shit like that keeps me around.
Yeah.
Because it's like, damn, like Cindy needs like an employer like me to look out for her.
Yeah.
And like, all right, I got this. And so that's where I'm like, cool. I get to be dad, quote unquote, but
in a different way.
But in a different way to empower. And then it's like, and I keep letting them know, guys, like we are definitely thinking of like other states too. So start thinking, who really likes this place? Who really likes this place? And I keep that conversation very open. It's like,
I think
I'm the anti-CEO.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good thing, man.
It's time to change the mainframe. Like I'm even a disruptor in the industry, in our industry. Like the way the way I extract espresso. Oh my God, it's insanely controversial. Insanely controversial in my industry.
How is that controversial?
Low temperatures.
Yeah. Again, how is that controversial?
Because
you're going to have less of the bittering and less of the bullshit.
Exactly. But this industry is so stubborn. Like, for example, I'm meant to compete on this extraction competition on Friday, which I think I'm going to actually end up pulling out of because my commitments to the booth keep growing.
Much, yeah.
And so, but then when I saw the rules of the competition, like I can't change the parameters of temperature. I can't change this. I can't change this. I'm like, what the
then where is the competition then?
How bad during the expo?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm more like
the thought process.
How is it a competition if everything is already set?
It's designed more. It's a competition that is designed more to highlight how consistent the machine can stabilize temperature, because it's actually a quite revolutionary machine. It's a single boiler commercial machine. So if you ever fiddle around with the home espresso machine, a single boiler and a dual boiler.
Yeah.
You need that dual boiler for that steam, right? Because it's going to run hotter, and your other one to extract.
Right.
This is a single boiler commercial machine.
And it's good?
It's insanely consistent. It can hold up high volume, and a 2-group D8 Pro MSRPs for about $7,800, which is about 60% cheaper than its comparable model, which would be the La Marzocco Linea.
Really?
Yep.
And the price differential is, I'm guessing, because of only one boiler.
The single boiler, the economy of equipment, boilers, circuit lines, and stuff like that, it's in there. Then from there, like my machine that's on Bar Racer, that is like their high end. That's their like top notch. Like everything is fucking stainless steel. Machine. Like the rolling cage on the outside, the big on it.
Full disclosure, you are a rep.
Like it is. It is a sexy fucking machine. It really is. And so what they did was like, all right, these panels, we can get away with doing this plastic. We can get away with doing this. Even like that machine, the Racer, when it gets shipped, it's sent out in a pine crate specifically from this, sorry, don't worry about it. Specifically from this forest in Italy.
Yeah.
So the crate itself costs nearly almost like about $1,400 to
Just the crate?
just to procure, build, and all that. This the Italians do.
That's
If
insane.
they're gonna go big, they're gonna go big.
They're gonna go big, but I mean, I don't need a Lamborghini. I just want to. Yeah. Right.
I mean, in their minds, they're still the last ruling empire. It's like kind of technically,
Yeah.
certain things, yeah.
Okay.
I'll give them
all
an
right.
espresso machine and pasta.
Yeah.
And so,
Nice.
and so what the machine does really is that it took out all the extras that aren't really necessary and simplified it. So this whole competition is really to highlight the consistency of the machine. So when I look at it, I was like, yeah, I can do that. Or I have so much more projects happening for the booth and how many stuff they're modifying for me for the booth that I get customized that. I was like, I'm actually going to end up getting more consulting leads if I stay on my booth and just do that and highlight that, then get involved in the competition. And actually then from there, I can offer myself to do any kind of emceeing that they need, or any kind of like, if they need a hype man for that, totally. Because like, as your brand ambassador, I would like to compete and I would like to give it a shot. But I look at it, I'm like, yeah, the rules aren't really like set up for success.
Yeah.
And then two is that I can serve the brand better, making all the other machines fucking sing than just make one sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, as I told that to the marketing manager, he's like, well, you're right. He's like, I'm like, came up with these rules anyways. He's like, corporate. He rolled his eyes. I'm like, oh, that's why. There you go.
Tracks. That tracks.
Yeah. So that's what my week's gonna look like. It'll be fun.
You'll have a
It'll be
fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you get to be in Houston, which, bro, there's some good food.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're some of the roasters that we work with have people in Houston, so we're going to be working with one of the baristas that works with Colores, which is like breakfast fruit, peachy, sunrise.
Nice.
That IPA that you tasted.
That was wild.
It finally got finalized and the packaging is out, and I do have an amount, but I'm taking that to Expo to highlight for them. But then they're sending us a shipment, so we should have that on bar by next week.
Oh, I'll be in.
Yeah,
I'll be in. I'm going to see how that plays with a flat white.
Yeah. Oh,
is that going to be good with the milk?
I think the way we extract, yeah.
Because I kind of want to try it as a pour over too.
Because you try it in everything, because
I will.
It's like meat. It's like if you want it like in a cortado, we're gonna extract the shit out of it, because we need the bitters to complement the sweetness of milk.
Yeah.
If you're having it as espresso, we're going to hit you with that heavy pre-infusion so that you get more of that centered umami flavor.
Yeah.
And then the pour over, we already figured, and we nailed that in a way that it's like you can actually go through like a couple of them, because you're only having 5 ounce servings of it. So it allows more for a consistent experience, because pour overs tend to be a pretty inconsistent experience. And then an actual consumable experience, because you're not committing to a whole 12 or even 16 ounce.
And you're not walking out jacked to the gills either. Yeah.
Because filter will jack. There's more caffeine in filter than there is in espresso.
Yeah, I just learned that, and I don't know how it took me this long to learn that.
Yeah, no, I try to tell people that all the time, but they still like, if there's no espresso, then they think there's no coffee. It's like, you realize cold brew will crack the shit out of you.
Cold brew 100% will crack. Yeah.
It's optics and perception.
That's true.
Which is something a little bit we talked about today too.
It is.
Well, anything else you wanted to cover?
Man, I think we got there. We got there.
It was fun.
And at some point, you got to send me one of the tracks from Sanctus Est.
Yeah, actually, I was trying to see if I could find them. Yeah. And I think I found...
Well, if you do, and if anybody's still listening, that'll end up being what I close this out with. I'll roll us into the top track from his OG band.
It was so funny because I was listening to the mix. I was like, oh, brutal. Gosh, that mix is so like, but
I love it.
It was a garage band. So
yeah.
Let's see.
Bro, we're pushing 3 hours. We did it.
Oh my goodness. It turned into a Rogan podcast.
We did it. Good. Oh man, I'm going to hear about this.
That didn't even feel like it, man.
No, not at all.
No.
Oh my God, I'm going to hear about this.
I felt like, I was like, oh shit, I hope we covered everything you wanted to talk about.
Oh, we could keep going, but I got to get to Venice after this. So we're going to pull out. You got a meeting. Dude, fucking thank you.
Dude, thank you, man.
I'm so glad you decided to sit down with me on this.
Yeah, this is fun.
I do this for a reason.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
Oh, this is fun, man. Like you took me down some paths I didn't think I was going to talk
Yeah.
about, but you also you talk me memories of some stuff that's important.
Yeah, I think so.
And I realize that in our conversations, a lot of like where my thoughts are when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to hear some of my inner thoughts.
That's what I love. And I think it's really important for other people to hear the ways that people get to the place that they are, not just through the actions, but like what's going on in their heads or how they're engaging with their family or how they're engaging with themselves and what it really feels like to be another human living another life with another set of predicate experiences.
Yeah.
And I know this sounds all like woo-y, but it matters.
No, it does.
Because you and I have had very different life experiences, but I don't come out of this feeling like we're any different, like at all, straight up.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Because no, really, I say that because as a person from my background, both ethnically and all that, like I can feel like a stranger in my own town. I can feel like I don't want to say second class citizen, but I can definitely feel like I'm on the outside looking in. And this type of connection that we felt, like I've had this with so many other people and realizing like, man, we're all so similar.
We're all so similar. I mean, dude, I'm essentially my third tour of duty in Los Angeles. I still feel like I'm a second or third class citizen. I'm a passing through kind of tourist, but dude, I'm not. Shit. We're all people moving through this world and I love it.
Yeah.
And I have zero separation.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And thank you for being intentional of wanting to connect with people. Because I remember that I didn't understand the value of that until I think I was like 32 or 33. That it's like, oh man, like get to know a stranger.
Yeah.
And I remember going through that. It wasn't a podcast. It was more of like, I needed to get away again and took a road trip and made it a point to just meet strangers and get to know their stories and just journal it. I still remember their stories. Still have it in my journal. And it's cool because it reminded me like, oh, wow. One story I remember in particular, it was this young man that his family was from Jalisco and he was living in Rosarito and he was afraid to go back to Jalisco to face his dad because of something that he had done. And I just remember feeling that connection of disappointing dad and him and I having a conversation over that and never saw him again. I don't know where he's at, but
I hope it helped him. I hope that helped him see that, we're all doing versions of this.
And I'm grateful that he shared that with me and I still remember it.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Like that can't have been easy for him to share with essentially a stranger.
Yeah.
But it's almost easier sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot going on sort of behind the scenes in the heads of everybody that partakes in this with me, but it's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm always so grateful when anybody says yes.
Yeah. No, dude. I mean, Danny, thank you for putting the energy into this because it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it turns out I don't have a life.
Yeah. Then it was like, create more content of coffee making. I was like, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. Content creation's a bunch.
Yeah.
Dude, I will try not to say,
all right, brother.
Carlos. Chuck, brother. Thank you, man.
Oh, thank you. JT, thank you, man. Thank you for inviting me to your home, man.
Of course, man. Of course. I'm glad we did this. All right, gang.